Okay, back in my old seat. And by that I mean the same seat I was sitting in yesterday, but also at least 6 feet further back away from my TV. Because wireless controllers are a thing. Wave of the future, I'm sure. Gonna feel like I'm like hyperextending to reach my water all day today, though. Because I'm so used to it being right on the table here. Oh well. What can you do, right? I guess I can do this. Stick it right next to me. Apologies for the banging. Okay, so we'll do the same thing we normally do, which is we'll listen through the entirety of this theme that they got in the background of the title screen. Total of twice, so we're about halfway through the first one right now. We will listen to it and we'll go to the title select screen, and then we'll listen to it again, and then we'll go into the third game in the series. Although I might just stay on this screen, because I think when I did it in Legend 2, I started the stream by going to the title select, so I think. Well, that's what I'm going to do today, so. Excuse me for one moment while I let this play out. Okay. Okay. Apologies. I had lunch a little earlier, about 2.5 hours ago at this point, and it was good. But it left a bit of a bad taste in the back of my mouth. I said, oh, you know, I could eat some chocolate, like one piece before I start the stream to kind of give myself a bit of a sweeter taste. But I don't think it's a good idea because I'm going to be talking, and chocolate and talking usually don't go together. But I finally said fuck it, and just went and got a piece because I'd rather, you know, be incapacitated talking for the first 15 minutes and then be fine than have to deal with that bad taste in my mouth for 2.5 hours, you know. And wouldn't you know it, just like that, we're back to this again. But, also wouldn't you know it, I remembered at the last second that I had to get my notes up for the game that we're going to be playing in just a second. Of course, compared to my notes on the first two games, this one should be a lot easier to follow along with because, well, there isn't nearly as much ridiculous metagaming that I need to do in order to make sure monster transformations are done. Because you can transform into monsters in Final Fantasy Legend 3, but, well, They're probably the weakest of all classes in the game, honestly, but that's neither here nor there at the moment. We'll get there, but for now, how you doing, everybody? Welcome back to the Collection of Saga, the Stream Edition, as I just said. Today we're going to be continuing with my project for this whole game by rounding out our playthrough of the original trilogy by playing Final Fantasy Legend 3. Let's get started, shall we? Jump right into it. Now, this particular version of the game, well, not this version of the game, but this game, by comparison to Legend 1 and Legend 2, came out a couple of years later, and if I recall correctly, it was made by a completely different development team. I think, if I remember right, the team that made Final Fantasy Mystic Quest made the gameplay and mechanics of this game by comparison to the first two games in the series, which I believe were made by the team that actually went on to make the rest of the Saga games, because I think they were working on Romancing Saga at this point for the Super Nintendo. Again, my knowledge of the Saga series is very limited because this is the latest game in the series that I've played, and I honestly have no intention of probably ever picking up any of the other Saga games. Maybe at some point if I run out of ideas, but if I run out of ideas, I'm going to be 60 years old at that point, so I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. So, let me take a quick drink, because I can feel the back of my throat starting to scratch. So let's just kill that before it becomes a problem. And then let's click New Game, and we'll get started with the last game in the original trilogy. So, in this particular iteration of the game, they tell you the main villain right away. It is the Pure Land water entity. Yeah, so previously when we were fighting stuff, we, could fight things that were relatively, I don't even know how to say it, but, this is an entity. It's not even, one singular thing. It's a whole ass, it's an idea, a concept. And it's flooding the entire world while also flooding the world with monsters on land. So that's just fantastic. The whole world's going to be an ocean by the time this thing is done. But a few brave individuals may be able to determine the fate of the world by stopping the Pure Land water entity by journeying back in time. Yeah, there's time travel in this game, so that'll be fun. And inside of the sealed city of Dharm, there are, I was going to say 5 magic rings with 5 special young people, but it's 3 magic young people, time-traveling young people with the Elder's daughter. And they will be our protagonists for the game. So the first character we have is our hero, Arthur. He's going to be our, basically, party leader for the entire game. His friend Curtis, who is, and there's humans and mutants in this game. In this particular case, Arthur is a human. Curtis is a mutant. Gloria is also a mutant and another one of Arthur's friends from the future. And the Elder's granddaughter's name is Sharon, so she will be our 4th party member. She's another human. So yeah, you don't actually get to pick your starting characters in this particular game. You get started with the game with 2 humans and 2 mutants. And that's a fairly decent trade-off. I can understand why people wouldn't like that, but it allows you to do some things with the transformation system in the game that's unique and kind of, honestly, a little bit streamlined from how it was in the previous games. It brings its own problems to the table. There's some good and some bad to it, but we'll get into it a little bit more as we go through the game. For now, I'm just going to leave their names exactly the same. I know we named everybody in the previous 2 stream-throughs, but their names are fine. So let's just take that and we'll go directly into a fight, apparently. Okay, well that's just great. Hey, Ivysaur, hello. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Yes, we are just starting Legend 3, and we will probably take about as long to do Legend 3 as Legend 2. They're about the same length, if I recall correctly, in terms of the amount of gameplay. Different games by proxy, but we'll get to why they're different as we go here. So yeah, there's actually, well, I guess you can even start with some of the simple stuff. There's actually an auto battle function in this game, but I probably won't ever use it. It's really not that necessary. You only have 4 party members, maximum of 5, so probably not going to use it. Humans in this game are really good at using weapons, so we're going to want them to use weapons. We don't have any talents at the moment, but we'll work on those later. Curtis doesn't have any magic, but mutants are good at using magic, especially attack magic. If it's like status magic in this game, every class has an equal chance of the status hitting. based on how high their magic is, excuse me. But attack magic specifically, mutants get a big old boost to their damage from that. So we probably won't be able to use that, though, for a little bit for Curtis. For Gloria, though, she starts out with Ice 1, so let's let her use that, and then we'll get rid of the other Diviner with... Well, that's not Sharon, that's Myron. Who the hell's Myron? Well, we'll find out later. Character reminds you of your ex-roommate's former girlfriend, heroin Sharon. Oh my god. That's one, I'm sure that's a bit of a story and a half that roommate could have caused. Love these bunny witch enemies. Yeah, they have some interesting sprite designs in this game, I find. Like, I found, honestly, that all through the entirety of the trilogy, the sprite work is really well done. It's rather interesting and unique. Like, every enemy has this charm to it, you know what I mean? So, but anyway, let's take care of the rest of the sprites. Well, the one sprite and the one diviner. So as you can see in this game, it's not as much of a simple matter as it was in the previous two games, where it's like, okay, well, there's groups of enemies, and there would have been, like, if this was the original, it would have been a single diviner on the screen, it would have said diviner 2. Sprite, single sprite, sprite 2. Now, they actually can show up on the screen now, and you can get as many as 8 enemies in a single battle, if I recall correctly. So it can... But they're all separate groups. They aren't, like, only up to 3 portraits. It's all... They're all... Every single unique enemy that you see in the battle will show up in the battle. So it's a bit of a different way of doing it, and also they also have the characters down below that you can see them, you know, step forward and attack. So it's something they did in Mystic Quest, and it's something they're doing here. So well, that's a little bit of money that we grabbed. 14 experience. That's not bad. Well, maybe. I mean, are they decommissioning it or something? Or what are they doing to it, Myron? Alright, well, don't answer us then. We'll just head on out. See ya! Well, let's figure out what's going on here. We appear to have jumped in a bit in medias res. Well, not exactly in medias res. Usually when you jump in medias res, they jump backwards in time after a certain point, and then let you start from the beginning, but yeah. Ooh, cold shoulder. That sucks, Arthur. Well, she's probably just worried about you, considering you're off to save the world, but you don't even know what you're doing to save the world. That's the problem. Maybe we should go see the Elder and ask him about what we should be doing to save the world. The next day. So, Elder, how do I save the world from water? Yeah, was she gonna see us off, or... Oh, well, I mean, we did grow up together, so I guess that could cause a little bit of a... cause her to have a little bit of a difficult time. So, the person that sent us back in time was a scientist named Borgin from the future. Let's learn about him with a flash forward. Man, this flash forward sucks. There's earthquakes and everything in it. And it's a super earthquake. Look how fast it's vibrating. Yeah, but it might be our only chance. I mean, what if these kids don't live through the next couple of years, you know? You're out of your mind, Borgin! But apparently it worked, because here they are today. Well, in the present, so... Yeah, that could be a bit of a problem, but hey, I mean, worst comes to worst, we just create an alternate string in the timeline. Yeah, and if the future sucks, we gotta do the best we can to make it better at the very least, so... Okay, what are we going to check out, Elder? I will follow you. And by that I mean I will take a drink of water because the game is going to do this for me automatically. Get a bit of an intro cutscene in this game, so... You know, that guy's name... Yeah, that guy's name, I was going to say it before, but Faye was the one talking before, but Dion there, his name looks familiar. It's like I just saw him somewhere. Yeah, we'll be back once we actually figure out what we're doing. Elder, what are we doing? Take me to your leader! Oh, wait, you are our leader. Take me to the person that made you leader. Or take me to the Greek Pantheon Temple or something. Is that what it was called? I forget. The one that's up on the hill that's all destroyed now. I mean, of course it's destroyed. It's been sitting there for like 2,500 years or something, so... Oh, apparently Sharon came here with Myron. Okay, cool. And yeah, we all grew up together, all 5 of us, in inside a Dharm. And Sharon's ... is something or another. We don't need to know all that info. Oh, okay, awesome. So both Sharon and Myron are going to join us on our adventure. Awesome. So Sharon is our 4th permanent party member, and Myron is our 5th temporary party member. So as with Final Fantasy Legend 2, 5th members of the party will leave and join you periodically across the game. You can equip them with new equipment, but only in slots they don't have filled yet. But we probably won't be doing that for a while. In the meantime, we got a fancy new ship in here. Well, does it really do us much good locked inside of a temple like this? But apparently the Talon can travel through time. That's awesome. It's like a miniature Epoch, kind of. I think they got a lot of ideas for Chrono Trigger from this game. Like, this was sort of like the testing ground for some of the stuff they were going to do in Chrono Trigger, and then a couple years later, there they go, Chrono Trigger. But before we can use the Talon, we don't really know how to start it, so we should probably go see Kronos in Elan. He'll be able to tell us a bit more about it. And we have the radar, which will allow us to, well, he'll then know that we know what we're doing, because we were given the radar, and Borghen had the radar. And, excuse me. So basically it'll all work out. We'll go see Kronos, he'll tell us how the Talon works, and we'll go from there. Of course, there's also ocean between us and Elan, so in order to get there, we're going to need to go to the North Tower and find the float spell. So let's go do that. But, you know, of course, there's also monsters that are in the North Tower, so we should probably prepare first. Epilepsy alert, sorry, I forgot to say that. We'll go into the Talon later. For now, epilepsy alert again to get out of here. And we'll take our 4 party members and we'll head right back to Dharm, because we need to do a little bit of preparation before we go to the North Tower. As you can see, we're all level 1, but Myron is level 5, and as long as he hits with his battle axe that he's got equipped, he will probably kill any one enemy that we'll be fighting between here and, like, excuse me, good lord, here in the first couple of bosses that we're going to, or rather the first couple of mini bosses we're going to be fighting. The radar behaves similar to the Prism Magi from the previous game, except in this game it's not for Magi, it's for units of the Talon. So right now the radar tells us that we're in the present day, and there are 3 Talon units left for us to grab before we can leave. So that's what we're going to go do. We'll go find them, and we'll, you know, then try to use them and travel to the past. Nobuo Uematsu came back for the soundtrack of this game, if I recall correctly, and it's, in my opinion, it's pretty much just as good as the soundtrack in Legend 2. Like, I think he went hard on the soundtrack in Legend 2. And in this game, it's a little bit more mellow across the whole game. But honestly, I feel like every track in this game is great, and in Legend 2, it's like every track is either good or fantastic. So it all balances out by the end, I think. Anyway, let's go prepare with some of the money that we have. We have about 1,000 gold to throw around here, so let's go do that. And then we'll see if we can head to Elan. Oh, by the way, when people are in your way like this in this game, well, he's not in my way anymore, but you can jump right over their heads in this game, just like in Mystic Quest. So that's nice. Uh-oh, that could be a problem. Well, why would you want to seal it in? I guess to protect it from the monsters, but doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of a flying machine that can time travel? Uh-oh, and that's also a bit of a problem. Why would they kidnap kids? That sucks. What could they possibly be doing with them? Oh yeah, and you can't jump over trees, by the way. They're too tall. They're 2 spaces, so you can't get over them. Can't get over this lady though, because she's only 1 space. But first, let's go in here. So, magic shop. What do we want from the magic shop? Good question. Me? Let's find out. So, like I said, mutants are good at attacking magic. They get a 2 times damage multiplier on all attacking magic. So I might want to get Curtis an ice spell. Although, I might also want to get a sleep spell. And I definitely want to get a cure spell because, well, cure is fairly useful. It's actually a bit different in this game than it was in the previous one, whereas in the previous games, it was based on your mana stat, how much it healed. In this game, Cure 1... excuse me, there's the chocolate coming back. In this game, Cure 1 just heals a flat 30% of one party member's HP when you use it. So, it can actually be used fairly equally by humans, mutants, and basically anybody else. That being said, I'm not sure if I'm going to get it for my humans because they start off with so little magic points, so little MP that it really... I don't know if it's really all that worth it. I should probably get a sleep spell. I'll get a cure spell, and I will get nothing else for right now because I'm going to use the rest of my money to go buy some armor pieces, I think. Maybe some weapons, so that way we can be more prepared. I'm going to give Curtis Cure 1 for now, but if in the event that you actually just want to move your... stuff around, you can actually just take the magic and then hit this bag button on the side, and it'll just put it right back in your items here, so you can give it to somebody else if you so choose. It's kind of like in Final Fantasy III, if I remember right, where you can just slot magic in and out and move it around to different people as you need it. So yeah, we'll probably do that over time, but for now we don't really need to worry about that. So we'll give Curtis Cure, and that'll be good for now. Hey lady, you're gonna need to get out of my way here. I need to get in the item shop. Thank you. Actually, I don't even think I need to come in here yet. Let's see. Oh, look, pills! Well, actually, they're more like chip programs. They're used for robots later in the game. But, of course, we don't have a robot in our party. How will we be able to use them if we don't have a robot? Patience, young Padawan. We'll get there. Am I allowed to make that reference still, even though Disney owns Star Wars? I don't know. I made it anyway. I'm sorry if it's a bad thing. There's cure potions there, some status healing stuff. Most statuses in this game I don't really worry too much about. I'll talk about which ones I do worry about in just a little bit, so. I forget how you pause them. I think you, yeah, just hold down the B button and then it stops, as you can see. I should probably make use of that over the course of the stream, but for now I'm going to go on the slide. Whee! There's a fountain here, nothing up here. And let's head over here, talk to Granny, and then we'll go into the weapons and armor shops. And yeah, just in case you weren't paying attention, you can go to the North Tower to get Float, and that's where I need to go, so we'll go do that. What does everybody have for weapons anyway? Let's take a look at our equipment. So Arthur's got a longsword to start with, so that's fine. He needs a leather helmet, leather gloves, and leather shoes, along with a shield, but I don't think you can get that in this town, so I think it's just like a leather belt is the fourth thing. Curtis has a battle hammer, but I really don't care for that all that much. Gloria's got a bronze staff, and Sharon's got a battle hammer as well. Okay. Which weapons do I want? I guess I could get a longbow. I'd like to get a longsword for both Sharon and Arthur, so I need one of these. And then I guess I'll get a couple of longbows from my mutants. That'll work, I think. There you go. Gloria, why don't you have one of these? And then you can have this. And you've already got that, right? Yep. Okay. So we're good on weapons at the very least, but now it's a matter of armor. And armor might take a little bit to get. It's the reason why I came back to this town anyway, because we, even with the amount of money that we have to start with from the simulator that we did, we won't have enough to actually buy everything that we need. So, because of that, we're going to go do the simulator a couple more times so that we can gain a little bit of money and we can buy the rest of the armor and the rest of the spells that I want. So, what can I get though while I'm sitting here? I do need leather helmets, but how many do I need? I know I need at least one for Arthur. I need one for Curtis as well. One for Gloria, and Sharon comes with one. Myron's equipment is good enough. There really aren't too many situations where I'm going to actually equip our 5th party members with stuff. It probably won't happen until like the end of the game, honestly. But so I need 3 leather helmets, right? 1, 2, 3, yeah. Okay, and then leather armor. 1, 2, 2, if I can get them. But leather boots are the next thing on the list, so 1, 2. You come with them, and you come with them. So 3 leather helmets and 2 leather boots. Okay, I should have enough money for that. Yep, just enough. Awesome. So now I need belts, leather belts for people, and then I need leather armor. The gloves we won't worry about for now. We'll get more gloves later. But for now, let's equip some helmets and some shoes. There you go. Just give ourselves a little more defense, just for now. It'll come in handy. Get a helmet, get some shoes, and then Gloria, you just need the helmet. Okay. So, what else do I need? Leather armor, it's 200 a piece. I need 1, 2 pieces of leather armor, so that's 400. And then I also need a belt for everybody, so that's 100, 200. You've got one. So let's see, 200, then you need armor, so that's 400. And you need armor and a belt, so that's 700. So I need 700 gold in order to fully kit out my characters so that we're good to go for the North Tower. So let's go do a couple of simulation battles, and we should have about that much money. So I think this is the Elder's house over here. Yeah. And we'll go talk to him later. For now, we're supposed to be going to the North Tower, so let's go do that. And as you may recall, the simulator's inside of here, but first... Ow. Yeah, if you jump with an obstruction above you, you just hit your head on the wall, and Arthur says, ouch. I don't know, I think I find it kind of funny. I know it's kind of mean of me to do it to them, but I find it kind of funny myself, so. Okay, let's train at the simulator, shall we? Turns out we were going to use it again after all, Myron. Oh, and there's quite a few enemies for us to deal with as well. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. We can have... actually, I'm going to have Curtis use... Oh, no, he doesn't have sleep yet. I should have gotten him sleep, but that's okay. We'll use ice over here. We'll use this, and then you can kill the other sprite. Like I said, whatever Myron hits, he'll probably kill, so... This battle isn't too threatening, I don't think. The Ravens do a good amount of damage, but... Well, it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. Maybe I should have prioritized them, especially since Curtis is dead now. That's great. Well, at least the sprites are dead. I'm so used to having to kill the sprites first from Legend 1, or Legend 2 rather, that yeah, this is throwing me off. It's okay though, we'll be fine. We'll do that, and then you attack this one. Got to split up your attacks a little bit. Now, in this game, they do auto-target if you kill the enemies. Like, let's say Myron killed that one up there, but... oh, good, Gloria's dead now, too. Fantastic. Let's say you killed the Raven up top there, but you had somebody else targeting. Or let's say Arthur was targeting it as well. He would actually auto-target to, I think, the front leftmost enemy, if I recall correctly. So, that's how that would work. And we got a very sizable chunk of experience out of that, which gained Arthur an entire level, and he'll get to his next one soon. But we still need to get Curtis and Gloria a level, so we should probably heal them and then go from there. Curtis, why don't you use up a little of your MP there to get you and Gloria kind of back on your feet. This is the only trouble with only curing a set percentage of HP, is that you sometimes just flat out don't get all of the healing in before you run out, so. And now that they were dead for that battle, the characters will be slightly off on their experience, like they won't be even with it like they have been in when I played Final Fantasy Legend 1, or not Legend 1, but Final Fantasy 1, for example. I tried to make sure my characters didn't die so that their experience wouldn't be like, it would be very similar, and now they're going to be thrown off a little bit. But that's okay. It's not really a big deal. We mainly did that for cash, and we now have, I think, enough cash to buy everything I need, because I think I need 2 belts and 2 armors, right? Oh, can't see that in the status menu. I need you a belt, I need you a belt, I need you an armor, and I need you a belt and armor. Okay. So 2 armors and 2, or hang on, no, 2 armors and 3 belts, excuse me. So let's get the 2 armors. And then I need a belt, and a belt, and a belt. Okay. Before I leave the town, though, I do want to get Curtis and Gloria to level 2, so we're going to do that. We'll go back to the simulator and we'll do one more. Even though we got all the money we needed, I'm still going to go and do that, so that way they're not lagging behind a little bit, you know. And you need both, so you do that. And I think Sharon's going to have the highest defense out of all of us. I mean, Arthur might have a little more. No, actually, he does not. Okay. Hey, Marie and Adam, how's everybody doing? Saw a jumping team of 4 humans, no mutants or monsters. Did you miss something? 11-3 decided to stop letting people be non-human. Actually, in this game, you start off with 2 humans and 2 mutants. So Arthur and Sharon are humans, and Curtis and Gloria are mutants. As for monsters and robots and all that other good stuff, we'll get into it, just not yet. It's something that's a bit of a work in progress that we'll get into later in the game. Sorry, I just feel the need to hit my head on this fireplace every time I come in. So, doing dishes, you'll be around a bit. Alright, Adam, sounds good. Get those dishes done so they're out of your hair. We'll be here training at the battle simulator with one diviner. Okay, fine. You throw one of the hardest battles in the simulator at me last time, and this one Myron's gonna one-shot. Fantastic. Oh, I should mention, by the way, that Oh, good, we leveled up again. I should mention that we don't have to worry in this game about like everybody taking a turn like we did in Legend 1. Oh, I'm looking at the EXP, not the next. Okay, I'm like, what the hell? Why? I thought they needed a lot more. But no, I'm looking just at the EXP total, not their next thing. Yeah, we don't have to worry about everybody taking a turn in this one because your stats are not dependent on what you do in battle in this one. Your stats are flatly dependent on the equipment that you have and what type of a class that you're in. There are classes in this game, and we'll figure out all of that later. For now, everybody's going to be in their human and mutant class for a little while. Oh good, we got a preemptive strike. Nice. Against a hooligan and fire drakes. Do dishes, but have to use one sink to thaw something. Oh, okay, gotcha. That's fine. No big deal. The dishes can wait then. Ghost Tan's here as well. Hello, Ghost Tan. How you doing? Your favorite, mixing high-tech and medieval aesthetics. I agreed with you in the past. I think at this point Legend 2 nudges it out slightly for me, but that's because now that I know how the mechanics of Legend 2 work, it just feels like such a better game to me than it did previously when I didn't know how the mechanics of it worked. But this one is still really good, though. Don't get me wrong. I still really enjoy this one quite a bit. We'll have a lot of fun with it. I'm going to kill that hooligan just with Myron. There will be one fire drake left, but we'll be okay. It might have been better to kill the fire drakes, though, with... Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, see, Sharon was helping Arthur target the top one there, but then she auto-targeted the bottom one once it was dead. So there you go. That helps. And everybody's in good shape in terms of levels now. They're at least level 2, which is where I wanted them. We'll get more levels as we go. This game is really, like... It's really lenient with the amount of experience that it gives you. You get plenty of experience as long as you fight most of the battles that you get into. You shouldn't need to grind or anything like that at all, so... Excuse me. The only time I can think where you might need to grind is like if you're doing monster transformations, which are a thing in this game, and again, we'll get into them in just a little bit once I'm ready to do that. Did I get enough money? I think I did. Oh, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. Hang on. I'm not going to get Curtis an attacking spell yet. I'm going to get him sleep instead. Like I said before, he would be good with ice, but, well, I already have ice on Gloria, so we'll just give him sleep and he'll be good. He can incapacitate people for us so we can, you know, take them out of the battle so we can kill them later. And I think that's it. I think now we can just leave. Let's go, Myron. Everybody else will head off to the North Tower. Also, in this game, there isn't an order for your party. Like before, if you press the X button on the Switch controller, you could switch the party order. In this game, when you switch, you just switch who's out in front of the party. And that does not include your 5th party members, unfortunately. No, you can't run around as Myron there, unfortunately. Anybody else see that shadow on the top of the screen there? That was a little weird. Huh. Well, pay no attention to that. I'm sure it's not important. Okay, so we fought this battle before, and we know for a fact that I did not give Curtis sleep. Fantastic. We know for a fact that I need to kill the ravens first, so that's what we're going to do. And there we go. Yeah, a little bit of strategy in this one as well. At least in the beginning, there's a little bit of strategy in it where you got to kind of prioritize certain enemies because certain enemies are more dangerous than others. Later on in the game, that becomes not so much of a thing, but that's just because by later in the game, you get so many different abilities that allow you to AoE things down. It really becomes a triviality. But again, we'll get there. That's not important for right now. Yeah, I can't target all of them with my bow. That doesn't work. That's what the there was for. I hit a button, a D-pad button that would have targeted all of the enemies, and I can't do that. Hey, look at that, 840 gold, just like that. Okay, so we found some monster meat, or more specifically, we found beast meat. So this is sprite meat. Now, I'm going to explain a whole lot of mechanics in about 2 minutes here. I apologize for the long tirade, but since we got the meat, might as well explain it. So, we have monster meat. Any one of your 4 party members can eat the monster meat, or in this case, it's beast meat. So any one of your 4 party members can eat beast meat, and they will turn into the beast class. Which beast they turn into depends on their level and the element of the meat that you eat. All meat is of one of 4 elements. It's either fire, water, air, or earth. And all of your characters have an innate element that they have by default, at least in their base classes. So in their base classes, when Arthur's a human, he's fire element. When Curtis is a mutant, he's air element. When Gloria is a mutant, she's water element. And when Sharon is a human, she's earth element. You cannot, if you're human, you can't be a mutant in this game, and if you're a mutant, you can't be a human. But all characters can turn into beasts or monsters if they use meat. In order to become a monster, you have to eat 2 different kinds of meat. You have to eat beast or monster meat to go to a beast, and then you have to specifically eat monster meat to go to a monster. Now, how this works, there's a fancy transformations chart that's in one of the guides on GameFAQs there, but basically, if you eat meat of the same element as what your innate element is, you will turn into that same element, except a beast. So, like, let's say we had Curtis eat this sprite meat. The sprite is air elemental, Curtis is air elemental, he'll turn into an air elemental beast for level 2. Every 2 levels, it changes what you can turn into depending on what you use. So if you use beast meat at level 2, you'll turn into the base level beast that is air elemental in Curtis's case. But if he gets to level 3, he'll turn into a different beast. So, and that's how monsters work as well. Same thing for cyborgs and robots, which are the other 2 classes that you can get later in the game. But we'll get to that once we actually find some parts for that. Do I want anybody to actually eat this, though? That's the question. I would like to try to use a monster early in the game if I can, but I'm not sure if I want to have anybody do... Okay, so hang on. We've got air meat. So who turns into fire if they eat this? Gloria turns into fire if she eats this, but I don't want her to eat it just yet because I don't want her to be a beast at level 2. The monster that I would like to get, I don't actually want to get until we're like level 5 or level 6. So I think we're going to leave the meat for now. And most of the transformation... Was that a floating continent? It must have been the shadow I saw earlier. Okay. Alright, I had to go off of my chat there for a second, so I apologize if anybody said anything while I was going on my little tirade about game mechanics there. Yeah, that is definitely a floating continent. Fantastic. Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to do too much transformation stuff early on in the game. Like I said, I'd like to use a monster before... About level 17 is where I'm really going to start taking advantage of the transformation system in the game, and that's where we're going to start getting other classes. But I'd like to use a monster for the first half of the game, because after the first half, monsters become really not all that great in a lot of cases. The other 3 classes, beasts and cyborgs and robots, start picking up from there. So, anyway, we made it to the North Tower, and we've got a little bit of extra money in our pocket, so we'll be able to use that shortly on some upgrades. But first, let's check out the North Tower, shall we? And we'll just vibe everywhere by jumping to our heart's content, because I can do that now. Imagine if you're just walking around town, and there's like, you just minding your own business, no big deal, and then Arthur strolls up into your town, jumping like a maniac, T-posing everywhere for dramatic effect, and it's just like, what do you do? Is there anything you can do? I don't think so. Okay, so here's what I want to do in this particular battle. I forgot to give Curtis sleep again, god damn it. The flower enemies, I know that they don't really look like flowers, but I think that's what they're called over here on the left. They're weak to ice, so I want to have Gloria use ice on them. And I want to prioritize killing these little mouse thingamajiggers because they have a dash attack, which will deal about as much damage as those Raven's beak attacks outside. So I would rather not deal with that. So we're gonna try to beat them up. Yeah, there we go. Oh, does East 2 do stuff like that then? Yeah. Well, I mean, at least you have some experience then with what I was talking about. Okay, so Orcs can dash. Hey, Conker, it's going good. How's it going for you there? We have just gotten started not too long ago with Final Fantasy Legend 3. We're making our way through. We just got to the North Tower, and we're beating things up. Because that's, you know, just the way it usually happens, so. Turn to a Roo, run around, find prey, turn back into a human Adol, pin them against an object and kill them, turn back into a Roo and hop away. Nothing to see, nothing to worry about. Absolutely not. I didn't see anything, did you? And actually, I probably, want to try to conserve Gloria's MP just a little bit, because she's only got the MP that she had at level 2. So, and we've all got a level out of that, so that's good. Although this place isn't really that big, so I guess I don't have to conserve it that much. But yeah, as you can see, Gloria starts with 20 magic to start with. Curtis starts with 17. They got a lot, so they're in good shape. Let's give Curtis that sleep spell before I forget again. And then I guess I'll heal. Might as well. I think Myron has a healing spell as well to start with. Yeah, Cure 1. He also has Fire and Ice 1, but first of all, you can't take them off of him. And second of all, well, he has the MP for the Cure spells, so that's good, at the very least. I might actually make use of that. Just a little bit. But his Fire and Ice spells will do about half the amount of damage that Gloria's do, so they're usually not all that useful to us. We'll just let our mutants do the attack magicking. They're a little better at it. Been lurking since the beginning with Stream Muted, but was in a meeting until just now. Ah, okay, Conker, gotcha. Well, I'm glad that the meeting is all over with. Hopefully it all went well for you there, whatever you were up to in there. Let's put one of the turtles to sleep, shall we? I think they're weak to ice. I think the Orcs are resistant to it, so we'll just do this. Blech. Knock them over the head with an axe. But yeah, by the time we're done in here, Arthur and Sharon, as long as they hit, should be able to one-shot some of the weaker enemies with their swords, so that's pretty good. Still gonna reset for the Celebi tomorrow, seeing if you can break 5k resets. Oh, good lord. Well, I hope that if you want to get to 5k resets, then I hope you get to 5k resets, but also if you want it, then I hope you get it, Marie. So that you can save yourself from having to do that all over and over and over again. I think we put the one that Myron was going to hit with his battle axe to sleep. How do you miss a sleeping enemy? Like, what do? Roll over in his sleep? How does a turtle even do that? But anyway. Okay, you guys need to start hitting with your stuff, because, like, this is getting ridiculous. Alright, so the one on the bottom is sleeping, so let's just all single target the one on top, and then we'll just let ourselves redirect as we go. There we go. Went fine, it was a club meeting, everything needed to go over was talked about. Good, Conker, good. That is good, then. Glad to hear that the meeting went well. And yeah, we're getting quite a bit of money out of this whole thing as well, so that helps out. Plus that shell spell that we just got is practically useless, so we can sell that for another, what would that be, like 200 gold? So, yeah, pretty good. Let me see, do I need to heal anybody? One of the nice things about this game is you can move the menu kind of wherever you want. So if you need to move it off the screen to kind of look at your HP or whatever, you can just move left or right and move it right off. I like that personally. It's another one of those things that uses the limitations that they have in the Game Boy well. So yeah, I like that myself. Arthur, why don't you do that? We'll let Curtis help you out. We'll let Sharon do that. Actually, no, because Gloria needs to ice one of them. So one of the flowers, that is. I will put the other flower to sleep with Curtis. There we go. Sharon, why don't you do that just in case Arthur doesn't one-shot it? Because Myron will one-shot his, so... If he hits. Myron, don't do this to me! Okay, well now Gloria will use that on something that only has like 7 HP, but that's okay. Ow. Yeah, that's the move that they have there, that dash move. It's, it doesn't seem like much, but it's pretty powerful. It's got a pretty decent attack multiplier on it, so gotta be a little careful. I mean, by comparison to the rest of this stuff, we're getting hit for like, what, 3 damage? Yeah, that's not really gonna break the bank, but in other cases, it might, so. Let's see, Gloria can hit that with, well, no, she's running a little lower on her MP, so let's just attack it. And then do that, and then do that. Just here to prove all of you non-believers wrong. Stop telling me to stop and just let me suffer. It's not that I'm trying to tell you to stop. I just hope that you get it one of these days, like, so that it's not just some ridiculous amount of resets where you're up at like, okay, you know, 3 months from now, it's like I'm about to get to 50k resets. It's like, okay. I just feel bad, honestly, I do. Like, I'm glad that it brings you some fulfillment. I just feel bad that the game's not giving you what you want, that's all. Is there anything up here? No. Okay. Yeah, being able to jump in this game is nice. It helps. Makes the game more dynamic. It lets them put in little platforming challenges for you, like this. It's nothing much, but, you know, it's better than nothing. There's some leather gloves there. Who do I want to give those to? Probably Arthur, because he's going to equip... Well, actually, everybody's going to equip a shield, so it doesn't really matter who gets it. Who's got the lowest defense? You've got 15, 16, 17. Okay, Curtis, you're going to get the gloves. Because you need to have a little more defense, my friend. Does the same thing happen in Pokemon where you can still miss an attack on a sleeping Pokemon? Yes, that is true. It's dumb. Federnalto from Stella Glow. Nicknamed him, if it ain't 100%, he's gonna miss. That sounds like a Final Fantasy Tactics reference, but yeah, I don't know much about that game, unfortunately. Mario don't give a damn about helping you when you want him to, just like a lot of other support NPCs. Yeah, absolutely. It's a Gen 2 shiny reset when expecting this level of pain. Well, yeah, I guess that's fair. Because, I mean, first generation they were doing it, there might be not bugs, but like it might be a bit of a process, a bit more of a process than in later generations, so. Alright, let's keep going. Let's see if we can find Float. And it might be right up here, actually. Yep, there we go. Top of the tower already, and we've found the Float spell. Awesome. We'll give that to Arthur. Excuse me. Since he's our party leader, I usually like to just give him the field magic that we get, because we'll get a couple of field magics. And the thing about field magic, for the most part in this game, is it doesn't cost any MP. So, yeah, it should work out okay for Arthur. Anything over here? Nope, nothing over here. Whee! Go down the hole. Which other hole do I want to go down? Sounds vulgar. Let's go down this one. Okay. And we're back at the entrance, basically. Awesome. Let's see here. So we're level 4. Almost level 5. So we're almost at the point where I might be able to get the monster transformation that I'm looking for. Basically, I want to get... If I'm going to get a monster... I want it to be the Fire Elemental monster for levels 5 to 6 in that level range there. If I can get that, then we'll be in good shape. But if I can't get that, well, it's not a huge deal. We'll make do without it. Why don't you help Arthur, and then you kill that Fire Drake by yourself. Bah! Gen 2, that's definitely even worse. Can only help you get the shiny onion soon. Yeah, for sure. You don't have all the distinct advantages that they give you in other generations where you're looking for shinies, so, in Gen 2. Stella Glow plays like Tactics, so you have the right idea. Double Slash counts the hit for both hits. Alto misses both with a 92% chance to hit either. Why? That is a question. I don't know if I have an answer there. Okay, Fire Drake meat. Okay, that's not too bad, actually. So, if Arthur eats this, he'll become the level 5 beast. Fire Beast. And then if we go from there, we can get him into something else. Or I could have somebody else eat it. How do I want to do this? If Curtis eats this, what does Curtis become? Because here's the thing. Monsters in this game actually have... Their stats are set. So they actually have... And they have fairly decent stats by comparison to other things. They don't have the problem with a lack of MP like humans do. And they don't have a problem with a lack of HP like sometimes mutants do. So they're not too bad. And they have pretty decent stats. It's just there's other things that make them not so good that later on in the game will become a big problem. So... Let me see. I like how they implemented monsters in 3. Irked you that no one could eat meat and get benefits without being monsters. Just take the plunge, just let people turn into them. Yes, become what you must. Yeah. So basically, the way that it operates in this game is it operates on a sliding scale, right? So you start as either a human or a mutant, and you start in the center of the scale. The more monster meat you eat, the further along you move towards a monster. So you go to a beast and then a monster. We haven't gotten any robot parts yet, or cyborg parts, but the more parts you install, the closer you get to a robot. You go to a cyborg and then a robot. And we'll do all of that stuff, and I'll explain what all the classes do and why I didn't use them for the first half of the game in a little while when we get to that point. Because basically the first half of the game, I'm going to do very little monster transformation stuff. And then we're going to do all of it, like right around the halfway point, and we're going to stick with it, essentially. So, if I have Curtis eat this, I didn't check. What does he turn into? So he's air. And it should turn him into a water monster. So then if he is water, he would need to eat air to get to fire again. Yeah, sure, what the heck. Let's see what he turns into. Okay, so Curtis is turned into a sea monk, which is in fact the water beast for this level. Not particularly good. Doesn't really have great stats. It's actually got even worse agility. And Curtis's main thing in this game is that he has like the highest base agility of all of the characters in your party. So him getting nerfed on his agility kind of sucks. But he can still use Cure 1 and sleep just as effectively as before. He's got slightly less MP to use it now, but he also has access to talents. Unfortunately, his only talent is Headbutt, and his other talent sucks because it's Crossfire, which is not good for us at all. Well, we'll see if we can get him something slightly better in just a minute. We'll do this, and then we'll see if we can take him back to town. We'll heal up, and then I need to find a sprite, basically, to have him... Or not a sprite. What's the air elemental monster at this point? Oh, I'll know it when I see it. Basically, if it has wings, it's probably the air element. A raven. Raven would be the air elemental monster for this point, I think. So, that's a bit of a pain in my wallet, but to be fair, I have 5,000 gold now to throw around, so that's no big deal. Should I buy off some of this stuff? Probably. Should probably buy a little bit of this. Cure 1 potions work exactly like the Cure 1 spell, by the way. They just heal 30% of your HP, so... Cure 2 potions work slightly differently, though, and I'll explain those once we get to that point, but we're not there yet, so... This game is Monster Girl fodder? Don't mean it ain't overpriced. Well, yeah, that's true. It's still a bit more than I'm used to paying at inns, but then again, I'm used to paying nothing at inns in these games because I can just heal myself to full because I have cures and abilities, so... Of all of these, the only one that I'm really worried about is Stone, and soft potions can get rid of Stone. Stone, if I recall correctly, is the only status in this game that persists after battle. By the way, if you want to see what statuses you have immunity or weaknesses to, you can actually just go to the talent menu, and it'll tell you if you're immune to them or if you take less damage from them, you have a circle around the stuff. In this particular game, having ice resistance also gives you tornado resistance, if I recall correctly, and vice versa. There's no thunder in this game. Tornado covers thunder, basically. There are thunder spells, but they're considered tornado elemental. So, and the 4 statuses on the left, Mute, Blind, Poison, and Curse, nothing really to worry about. Not particularly problematic throughout the whole playthrough. Confuse, Sleep, Para, and Stone, on the other hand, yes, particularly dangerous throughout the whole playthrough. We'll want to get status immunity to those as soon as we can, and thankfully when we go to Elan in just about 2 minutes, we will have the ability to gain immunity from those, so we'll do that. Don't think I need Stone for right now, though, so we'll just go over here and grab... What do I want? Probably a Cure 1 for Gloria, and I don't think she needs Sleep all that badly, so, yeah. Oh, another thing, by the way, that you can do in this game. In the event that you do get put to sleep in a battle, status magic in this game actually works to heal status as well. So you can cast a sleep spell on a sleeping party member, and it will heal their sleep. They will wake up from that sleep. So that's kind of nice. It means you don't have to have like dedicated spells for, like an Asuna type of a spell or something like that. Which it saves a little bit of space in your spell inventory. Not that you need space, because I think if I recall correctly, you can have like 16 spells or something like that. We don't need the shell. We'll never use it. It raises defense in battle, but we won't need it ever. basically. So, yeah. Alright, let's go tell the Elder that we got float magic. I don't know if he says anything new, but we can talk to Faye and Dion while we're here. Oh, he does say something new. Okay. Yeah, so he built Dharm 15 years ago. But apparently there was also a group collecting units, which is fantastic. Well, that's just great. I guess we'll have to keep an eye out for them, won't we? What's up, Dion? Go shower and start washing clothes. Didn't start earlier because you always feel so damn tired. That's okay, Marie. You go do that. We'll see you in a little bit then. Sounds like a plan. Well, apparently Dion's going to train to be a fine warrior, which if that flash forward was anything to indicate, then yeah, he probably will. And Faye just says see you again. So we'll be back at some point to Dharm, I think. Do we ever come back to this town? Probably in a little bit before we start time traveling, I think we do. But alright, we need to find a raven for Curtis. So let's go find a raven for Curtis. Actually, no, he needs to get to level 5 before I find a raven. Excuse me, hold on, hold the phone. Back up, MCR, you still need to get to level 5 or else he'll turn into something crappy. Okay, he needs 45 experience to get there, so we'll do that in just a second. Arthur, let's float. You can still run into monsters while you're floating, by the way, just in case you were wondering, but, well, apparently we didn't this time. And we've made it to Elan. Yeah, the world map in this isn't really all that large, but then again, most of the landmass in this map is kind of getting sucked up by the void, well, by the watery void. Most people are going to end up in a watery grave if we don't help out. Oh, okay, cool. I'll go see Granny in just a little bit, see what she has to say. I don't think I have any magical stones at the moment, but thank you for the information. Yeah, there's lost magic that you can get in this game. You can kind of see it here. So, spells in this game are categorized by 3 different categories. We got white magic, which is, I mean, the indicator's white there. We got black magic, magic, which float is considered lost magic. Although I'll probably refer to float and later on dive as field magic rather than lost magic, because you can't use them in battle, so. But, yeah, the rest of it is lost magic, and it's anything with that gray indicator is considered lost magic, so it'll come in handy for us. Any of this stuff that I want? No, not particularly. We can't use the part pills down here at the moment. Because, like I said, we don't have a robot. So we can get a robot, but most of the ones we can get around now are either not very good or they have a weakness that we'll not like having to deal with. So, do I want to get armor right now? Probably not, because I don't think we really need it all that badly. The ones we do need, though, right now is we need to get 4 plumes. These plumed, I don't know if it's just a feather or what, but for some reason, they give you immunity to sleep, which is really nice, and we will probably keep these for a fairly sizable chunk of the game. They're solid accessories, and in this game, I mean, they don't give a lot of defense or magic defense, but in this game, having that status immunity, if it lets you be immune to confuse, sleep, para, or stone, is more important than getting additional magic defense, I find, anyway. So, alright, Conquer, we'll see you in a minute. Go get some food for yourself. Were there shields at that one? I think so, but I also think there's going to be better shields that we'll get in a little while, so ain't too worried about it. What do you have, sir? Battle swords? I might want to grab one of those. I also want to grab some side knives. This is probably why I don't want to get armor, because we're going to get some decent weapons out of this. Although I don't think I want battle swords just yet, because I think we can get better swords at the same place we're going to get better armor. This napalm, by the way, as the little indicator says, it's TNT, basically. So it's a one-use item that'll deal some damage to... I think it deals damage to a group of enemies? Maybe all enemies. I don't quite know. I've never used it because it's really not that useful. Side knife, though, is nice. It gives +5 agility to whomever equips it. So it's actually rather good. I'm going to use it for my mutants so that way they have a little bit of extra... yeah, as you can see, there's that 10 agility for Curtis. And once he gets to be something else, he'll actually be able to make better use of it. So we'll give him the side knife, we'll give Gloria the side knife, and then we'll go from there. And I guess we can get rid of those long bows now that we don't need them. You sometimes buy equipment fairly quickly in this game because they give you quite a bit of money to throw around in a lot of cases. So you can kind of like go to one town, buy some equipment, go do one small dungeon, and then buy more stuff, more equipment not too long after. So I'm gonna guess that you're Kronos, considering you're in a suspicious looking spot, like you're at the top of the stairs, like you're waiting for me. So do you know what this radar does? I mean, I used it and told me there were 3 units left, so. Wow, what's up? Well, we come from the future, so we would like to go back there so we can fix things if we can. Yeah, that. Well, as ready as we can be. I mean, we're missing a little bit of armor, but we'll get more. Not really a big deal. So what can we do to find these units? Ah, we have the past unit, and Kronos will look for the future unit for us. But with the past unit, we can load that into the Talon, and then we can travel back in time to the past, where the world was a little bit less watery. So that should be pretty nice. So yes, we get the past unit, and that will allow us to go back to the Talon and travel to the past. Maybe then we can undo the future that is Aku. No, he's not in this game. But the Talon originally had 13 units total, so there's 3 in this time period, so we just need to collect up the other 10 from the other time periods, so. And yeah, once you board the Talon and you go to the, well, it says automatically, but once you go to the computer in the main chamber of the Talon, it will load all the units that you have automatically. You don't have to set them one by one, so. There were also 4 crew members on the Talon, which is rather convenient because there's, well, 5 of us, so we're even better off than they were before when they originally flew the thing, so. Oh, okay, huh. So their master's name is Sol. He must be like a pretty powerful magician then, if he's, apparently he's on the floating continent. Well, okay. That's cool, but pay no attention to him. I'm sure he's not important in any way whatsoever. Nope. Not important at all. Let's check out the end, shall we? I don't think I need to heal. I think I didn't get in any fights on the way here, right? Well, we'll stay here anyway. Why the hell not? There we go. And then we'll go over here. And let's head down here first. The magic shop is actually down below ground here. You have to go down here and all the way around to get to it. So that's where we're going to go now. There's a hot spring down here. That's fancy. I'm not sure if it does, actually. To be honest, I've never come down here when I've actually needed HP back, so I don't know if it actually restores your health or if that's, like, she's just saying that. But, yeah, apparently there's a hidden path around here somewhere. I wonder where it could be. Right here. And it leads us outside so we can go under the bridge. Ow. Sorry, I'm probably going to do that whenever we find a bridge or anything throughout the whole game. I'm going to hit my head on every bridge. Why are you trying to hide, Granny? What are you hiding? Tell me about the future. The future, you see, refused to change. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I don't think I ever showed that during my playthrough of Chrono Trigger, but trust me, it's not a good ending. It's one of the alternate endings, but it's not very good, so. Granny's got a couple of new spells for us, Spark and Venom. Spark inflicts blind or cures it. Venom inflicts poison or cures it. But again, not really all that worried about them. They go away after battle anyway, and they're not particularly useful statuses to begin with. So, yeah. The main statuses that I'm going to be concerned about in this game, both inflicting and preventing, would be Confuse, Sleep, Para, and Stone. And really, even then, Confuse isn't all that great on its own. I'll explain why once we start gaining access to some confusion magic. But it's not bad as an incapacitator. At the very least, it will prevent your enemies from having a turn. And that's the idea, is that I prefer my status magic in this game if it's interrupting enemy turns. So, but you don't always get that luxury. So, especially with Confuse, you kind of get a 50-50 shot of it actually interrupting them. Otherwise, it can do some wonky things that I don't like. I'm going to jump over the exit. Oh, that's why the exit is 2 spaces long. Alright, fair enough. Okay, so we can head to the past now, but again, I think I want to get to level 5 before we head to the past, just because I want to go get Curtis to the monster transformation I would like to use. We're only going to do monster transformations twice before... That guy wasn't there before. Okay. Huh. Well, let's just ignore him for now. We'll come back to that once we're ready to actually go to the Talon. Yeah, we're only going to do 2 monster transformations before we start using, like, beasts and robots and cyborgs later, so... excuse me. It shouldn't be a whole lot of running around in circles like this, you know? I kind of wish that the floating continent worked like the airship in Final Fantasy II, though. In Final Fantasy II, the airship is an indicator that there's a chance that you'll get into a fight soon. But in this game, it doesn't work like that. So, well, let's put one of the hooligans. Actually, I'm gonna put the Kelpie to sleep. I think, is that the Kelpie? I didn't see if that was its name, but it is the name of one of that type of enemy at some point later. So. And actually, Myron might go first, so might not even get to put it to sleep. We'll put something else to sleep. Silver, that's the name of this one. Okay. Yeah, I think the next one is Kelpie. The next one in that line of enemies, so... Okay, well, as you can see, we're doing pretty good in terms of our damage output and stuff. We should be able to heal things fairly easily. 29 experience next level. Okay. And then once we get there, we can have Curtis turn into something fancy. Hopefully we get there in this battle, and we also get Raven Meat, because I would love to show you the fantastic monster that I can get if we get a fire monster at levels 5 to 6. So... we'll see. Might work out okay for us. Might not. We'll know in a second. If it doesn't work out and we don't end up getting a monster at that level, then I'm not going to be too concerned about it. So, although, now that I'm thinking about it, we don't need a Raven, actually. Because, as you're going to see in a minute, once we're done with this battle, beasts are a little bit on the... how do we put that? They're a little on the volatile side, as you'll see in a second. They have a tendency to change violently when they level up. So, like, as an example, okay, Curtis didn't level up from that, but when he levels up, he's actually going to change into a different beast, basically. And what happens is, so he's a water beast right now, right? So when you level up with a beast, you always change to a beast of the opposite element from what you are right now. So he's a water beast right now. And when he levels up to level 5, he'll turn into a fire beast, because water and fire are in opposition to one another. Earth and air operate in the same way. Earth is opposite to air. So you will always change into a beast of the opposite element of what you are when you level up. So at this point, he's a water beast. When he levels up to level 5, he'll turn into a fire beast, which means in order for us to get him to a fire monster, we actually need monster meat from this battle. So I'm going to try to get it. And by try to get it, I mean I'm gonna cross my fingers and pray, basically, because otherwise I really don't have any recourse here. So, but if we do get it, it'll be so nice. I shouldn't be saying that because now it's not gonna give it to me, but that's okay. If it doesn't happen, I'm not really peeved about it. It's not really a big deal. I would like to show it, and I'd like to try to use monsters before they start to fall off, but again, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You know, sometimes it's not meant to be. Oops. Yeah, I just have Gloria attack physically. Okay. So Curtis levels up, and there you go. He actually changed into the beast that is the fire beast for this level. And it's Toth. Okay. That's actually not too bad of a beast, though. So if we don't end up getting any monster meat, which we did not, Toth isn't too bad, actually. Let's take a look at him here. So he gets sleep gas, which means Curtis doesn't need to have a sleep spell at the moment. He has protection from ice, but he has X tornado, so it actually makes him weak to tornado. But it's not bad. Upper's okay. It's not really that damaging, but it's okay. And then sleep gas is really the main thing. It'll let him use sleep without really having to worry about using sleep. And Toth comes with a whole lot of MP to use that sleep gas spell on him. So, although actually sleep gas is free. All talents in this game cost 0 MP, which makes them really nice to use if you, have access to that sort of stuff. Well, we'll make use of that in a little bit. let's go back to Darm real quick. We'll just heal at the inn, and then after we're done at the inn, we'll go to see what that guy that was standing in front of the Pantheon over there wants. Probably nothing good. Can I give sleep to somebody else now that Curtis has sleep gas? I should probably give it to Gloria, huh? Yeah, I'll give it to Gloria. There you go, Gloria. Now you have status magic too. Alright. And now we can head off to the past, so let's go do that. After being interrupted by monsters, of course. But, to be fair, we got a first strike, so it's not really a big deal. So yeah, like I said, sleep gas is free, so that will allow Curtis to use his MP on healing people, which will be helpful to us in a little bit, because pretty soon Myron's not going to be in our party anymore, so... Is that a spoiler? I mean, in about 5 seconds. It's a temporary 5th party member in a Final Fantasy Legend game, so... Is that a spoiler? Let's let the game play itself for a second while I take some water. There we go. Ooh, nice hit. Good shot, Arthur. This game, like I said, I didn't do a whole lot of note-taking for this game. I had a pretty well-stocked set of notes for Final Fantasy Legend 1 and Legend 2. Hey, there's some robot parts for us. We could change into a cyborg right now if we wanted to, and that's Hooligan, which means that's the... is that the fire one? No, Diviner. No, Diviner's a beast. Oh, no, wait, I forgot. Cyborgs and robots don't follow the same principles as monsters do. They only transform into... There's only 2 types of cyborgs at each level threshold, whereas there are 4 types of monsters and beasts at each level threshold. So a Hooligan, I think, is considered the fire and air elemental cyborg for level 1, whereas there's a different cyborg that's considered the water and earth elemental cyborg for level 1. And it goes like that through the whole game. You'll only have 2 robots and 2 cyborgs at each level, whereas you'll have 4 beasts and 4 monsters. So, not a whole lot, Conquer. We pretty much just got our past unit from Kronos back in Elan, and now we're getting ready to head to the past. Curtis turned into an Anubis-looking dude, so that's kind of fancy. But we aren't really doing a whole lot with him just yet. Let's see. So Hooligan, I think, like I said, is a fire-air. If I have Sharon is earth. Now here's the thing. The chart doesn't show how this works for cyborgs and robots. So I would like to do a little bit of testing, honestly, just to kind of see what will happen if I do this. Because it'll be better for my knowledge and later in the game if I look at what this will do to us. If I have Sharon eat this, or install these parts, you don't eat robot parts. If she installs these parts, she could turn into either an air or a water. But which one will she turn into? Will it use the air one because she's earth? How does this work? We're gonna find out. Let's do a transformation, shall we? I ain't worried about it. We'll be fine. Stranger. So Stranger is the water-earth one, I think. No, that's a fire-air one. Never mind. And it's pretty crap. That's not exactly the best transformation we could have gotten at this point. So it really doesn't help us. Now the way that it works is that when beasts transform at each level. Like I said, Curtis will transform as a beast at every single level threshold into something else. He'll be the opposite element of what he is now. So he's currently a fire beast. He'll turn into a water beast at level 6, and then back to fire at 7, and do that whole thing. Cyborgs do not change over the course of their levels. They stay the same throughout the entirety of their lifetimes. They will... Basically, if I never have Sharon install cyborg parts again, she'll always be a stranger, which is kind of funny. In an ironic sort of way. But, yeah, we don't want that, ideally. We want them to be constantly changing into different ones. So we'll figure out how to do that in just a little while. But first, we need to head to the past, so let's go do that. Let's see here. Do that. Why don't you put the other one to sleep? Why don't you kill this one with Ice 1? And then, Sharon, what do you have here? Just kick? Oh, that kind of sucks. You can still use your sword, though, so that's nice. Maybe I'll just have you hit this guy, and then Myron can do that. There we go. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put my chat back on the screen. My bad. I DC'd from chat. I might have missed what you said there, Conquer. After and back, did I miss much? Apologies. I was just looking at my notes and looking at my chart. Which, to be fair, I probably could do without even, like, changing windows. I could just, you know, pull up the whole, like, hit the square button on my phone, slide over, and look at the chart, and then slide back to my chat. That would probably be easier than what I did. Leather shoes, okay. I'm gonna save here, just because Sharon's kind of in a crap place, and she might get one-shotted from this battle. Oh, because this guy hurts a little bit, but we'll be all right. We got Toth. It'll be fine. Haven't said anything else yet. All right, sounds good. Just didn't want to miss it, you know. Well, even if I'm not ready to challenge the will of your masters yet, I can certainly challenge you. Okay, that's a water hag. All right, fine. We haven't seen this guy just yet, but let's just do the best we can. We'll knock him around a little bit. I think he's immune to sleep, if I recall correctly. So just hit him, and eventually we'll get him. So, Gloria, you could probably use ice on him, even though he's a water hag. You would think, oh, you know, ice might not be that effective on him. Yeah, I know, but it'll be fine. It'll work on him, okay. Of course he hit Sharon. Why wouldn't he hit Sharon? Oh boy. That's fine. We should be able to get him without too much trouble. Maybe like a couple of rounds and then he'll be dead. Bah! Yeah, see, that's not really gonna do a whole lot for us, Sharon. Why don't you heal her there? And then Gloria, Arthur, and Myron can do the big damage. Yes, that does in fact look like a very strange fish person, doesn't it? He's got a bone to pick with us. I don't really know why, but maybe we'll find out later. I think that would have been the last hit there, Arthur. You really got to hit those, my friend. Got to be more accurate. I forget if accuracy is based on agility in this game. It might be. Actually, Gloria might be able to live another one. Although she already died in battle, so probably I would rather she live than... Sorry, Sharon, but I kind of need to get Gloria's stuff back up. So, okay, he hit Myron. That's fine. Okay, and we got him. Yeah, Arthur probably would have killed him last round if he hit him with the longsword, but he had 1,200 gold on him, so that's pretty good. I should probably go back and heal. You can't jump on the world map, by the way, just in case you were wondering. It's an unfortunate... it's unfortunate that you cannot, but yeah, that's just how it is, I guess. Why don't we try to heal a full? I mean, that's pretty close. Yeah, that's close enough. I got all this money. I can use it. Oh, and I didn't get to show it just there, but if you can go down below the person, even if they're blocking the door, you can actually get into the door by jumping over them. So, like, if he was in front of me right here, right, I could just do this and end up in the door. So, you can use that jump for all sorts of cool things that normally would be just annoying in an RPG. Like, oh, they're blocking the door. Well, now you don't got to worry about that. So, let's see. Yeah, let's just head to the past first. I'm not really worried about Sharon's transformation into a cyborg. We'll figure out how to fix that in just a little while. So, because there is a way to fix it, as you'll see soon. Epilepsy alert. Okay, Talon, you and me going places. But apparently Myron's not going places. What's up? Oh, well, yeah, I guess that's a fair thing to worry about. I mean, if the town gets destroyed by the future, that would kind of suck. But with Myron there, it'll be fine. He can train the whole time while we go and do other things, so. Of course, I might not be going and doing other things because I might just stay here on the ship and dance to the music, man. Yeah, the Talon's music in this game is so good. Hang on, I'll let you listen to it. So good. It's so great. Again, Nobuo Uematsu helped out with the soundtrack on this one, and it just shows, man. He's so good at this stuff. Wonder what goes here, huh? Empty room for now. Let's just go explore around, see what we can find. Probably won't be a whole lot here for now, but like there's nothing here at all. So yeah, that is some good background music. That's some good shit. Nothing over here either, but I guess this is our meeting room in case we ever need to have a strategy meeting. There's 4 doors back there, and there's counters that kind of look like merchants' counters. Well, we'll come back for those later. What's down here? This is probably where the power supply is. It's kind of like I got myself back on the Normandy, basically. It's like I'm on the Normandy SR1 again in here. Surprised Tally's not down here. No, she wouldn't be here right now because we don't have any crew members besides ourselves. So, yeah, we gotta make do with ourselves, and we'll maybe we'll get more crew later, a la Skies of Arcadia, Skies of time-traveling Arcadia. Anyway, here's the main console for the Talon, and yeah, as you can see, whenever you sit in the chair there, it'll just attach whatever units you have on your person directly to the Talon, so you can go ahead and use them. We have a whole lot of options here, but for now, most of them are blanked out. We don't have any engines in the Talon, so obviously we're not going anywhere, and we have a warp option here, but we don't have a depart option because we don't have an engine. We have a weapon, a cannon. We'll use that later, but we'll set it up for now. We don't have any option units either. So the only thing we really have is that cannon and the past warp, so we're gonna warp to the past. And back we go. Well, that wasn't so bad. Epilepsy alert. Let's go check out the past, shall we? Every time you move in a direction in time in this game, you're moving approximately 15 years, by the way. So this is 15 years before the present day. And then when we go to the future, later on, it'll be 15 years after the present day. Excuse me. And as you'll see, the landmass is a little larger in the past because the water hasn't filled everything up yet. But with that being said, the monsters are going to be a little bit tougher than they were before. So, let's see. Sea monks are weak to fire because I think that was what Curtis was weak to just a few minutes ago. How do I want to do this? I forget if the big eyes can do anything fancy to you. They can probably, like, paralyze you or stone you or something really bad that I don't want, so. And to be fair, we only have 4 party members now, so we gotta try to get rid of these guys as best we can, incapacitate them as best we can, so. Yeah, Gloria still being on a regular mutant should make that a little easier because she can just do a lot of good damage there. Yeah, as you can see, humans have the advantage in a lot of cases here because they can they get that extra boost to their weapon damage. Arthur's doing significantly more damage with that sword than Sharon is because Sharon's on a cyborg and she no longer gets a bonus. So, a little unfortunate, but we'll fix that. And Arthur got a level up, and that is Big Eye meat. Big Eyes are air elemental, if I recall correctly. Let's see here. So you're fire right now. Curtis, if you ate an air monster meat, you would turn into an earth monster. Okay, well that is not the monster that I am looking for, so I think we'll leave well enough alone for now. Earth and air beasts, rather, are pretty good throughout the whole game, though. They just aren't as good as humans and mutants until a little while later. But they're going to be the ones that I prioritize when I start thinking about doing actual transformations. So, all right, let's go to Elan in the past now and see what we can find. Because probably that's something we're going to need to... They're going to be able to help us a little bit, I think, if we do that. Is it up here? Yeah, it's up here. Maybe the land floated a little bit in the 15 years. I mean, there's a lot of water in the world, so I wouldn't be shocked. And yeah, just as you can probably tell, most of the people that were here that were adults in the present are children in the past. Oh, well, that kind of doesn't do them much good, does it? How do you live in a sunken town? Now maybe they figured it out. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. We don't need these leather shoes, so let's just get rid of them. And they sell Cure 2 potions in Elan in the past, so I'm actually going to get a few of these because they're rather nice to have just for Basically, the difference between Cure 2 potions and Cure 1 potions, and also all Cure spells, is that Cure 2 potions just cure a set amount of HP, and it's about 150 HP, if I recall correctly, up to. So that's pretty good. They'll come in handy throughout the game for us. Well, for probably about the first half of the game, honestly, as a means of healing us up. So how many did I buy already? 4. Okay, I'm gonna buy like 2 more. That'll be enough. Yeah, I don't really need anything else, I don't think. I guess I could buy a few soft potions, but I don't think I'm going to need them all that badly, so. Just get the cure potions, that's all you really need. Any decent armor here? No, same armor as before. Okay, so we won't buy anything from this one either, because the next town that we go to in about 5 minutes will have some slightly better stuff for us, so. And same stuff here, okay. Let's go see if... okay, Kronos is in Granny's house. So this big house down here is Granny's house, even though she's at the magic shop up there, so... Oh, well, that's no good. Monsters are wrecking all their ships. How are you supposed to get around a world of water if the monsters keep destroying all your ships? Well, that's the idea, you don't, so... Oh, there's Kronos, okay. Oh, so Granny's not here right now. She went to rescue somebody named Lara in a cave not too far from here. Well, I hope her last name isn't Croft, because otherwise Granny's gonna have to outrun a boulder. Well, I got news for you, kid. Soul's still not awake in the present day, at least as far as I know. I mean, I guess he could be awake in the Floatland, but the guy that talked about it to us in the present made it sound like Soul was not awake yet, so... And I'll bet you that's where Lara is, isn't it? Well, that explains why Granny had to go get her, because apparently there's something named Dogra living in the cave to the southeast, and Dogra just doesn't sound like a friendly person. I'm sorry, but I'm making a judgment call based on a name, but it just sounds ominous, you know? Oh yeah, I already talked to you. Okay. So Granny would be in her house there, but, well, she's off doing other things, so. Alright, let's go back in here. And, yeah, we'll rest up. Just get that, top ourselves off just a little bit. Alright, we'll go down here. I don't think there's anything new at the magic shop, but I might be able to get some additional information from the shopkeeper, so. Yeah, why the heck not? There's a few NPCs down here to talk to, so. You kids should be careful in here. These things could get you overheated. So. Oh, okay, gotcha. So that's another field spell, the dive spell. We don't have access to it just yet, but when we do, we can dive down to the bottom of the ocean, and we can breathe down there, which will be nice because that means we'll also be able to go and plumb for treasure. Ow. Maybe they'll have, like, headache medicine for Arthur here when we get down there. Yeah, they don't have anything new here. All right, that's fine. Because we don't need it. So we'll just go. Can I reorder sleep on Gloria's menu here? Yeah, I can. No, I can't. Okay. For some reason, it automatically sorts. It automatically sorts the status spells above the attacking spells. Huh. I usually don't have to worry about that because by the mid game, I don't have any mutants left in my party because I've switched them all to either beasts, cyborgs, or robots. But we'll get to that in a little while. Okay, well, that's it for Elan in the past. Not a whole lot going on here. Let's see if we can head to the southeast, but before we go to the cave that they were talking about, we should probably see if there's another town down there, because, well, spoiler alert, there is another town down there, and they've got some better stuff, so we're gonna go find it. If you follow the path down here, though, all the way down and around, you can end up at the cave, so that's where we're gonna end up in a little bit. Uh-oh, funguses! And I'm gonna get swept by broomers. That's not good. Let's see. I think these guys, generally speaking, I don't do any statuses on these guys because they have, like... Well, I guess it doesn't matter because Circle Para in this game isn't the same as Circle Para in Legend 1 and 2. It doesn't give you status protection from most things in this game. It just gives you status protection from actual paralysis, so... Ow! Quit it! Yeesh. That was a lot of damage. Okay, so the confusion might be a bit of a problem. Will be a problem on Curtis. Maybe. I guess we'll find out. You can't put the other guy to sleep now, but well, it's fine. We'll make it work. Why don't you use a Cure 2 potion on yourself there, Sharon, just until we can fix things for you. So, since we have somebody confused, I can explain to you why Confuse isn't really all that great. Confuse has a chance, like when they do nothing in a turn, it basically makes them defend. Now, that's bad for pretty much, I would think it's an obvious reason. When you defend from something in this game, it halves the damage that you take, but it also gives you a chance to dodge it completely. So that's why you don't really want to use Confusion too much, because, I mean, you can attack enemies or attack your allies, but you have just as much chance of doing that as you do of defending and completely avoiding damage, which I would rather they not do, so. Fungus is an Earth Elemental monster. If Curtis eats Earth Elemental, he will turn into a water demon, or water monster, rather. Okay. Although this does give me an opportunity to actually fix things. So, like I said, monster meat and robot parts in this game, or rather, beast and monster meat and cyborg and robot parts in this game, operate on a sliding scale. So, if you want to go back to being human, let's say I'm a cyborg and I want to go back to having Sharon be a human, just eat meat from the opposite side of the scale, and you'll slide one to the left, and you'll end up back as a human, or a mutant if you're Curtis or Gloria. So, yeah, so if you ever get into a bad and you want to fix it, just slide your way over by eating different meat, or installing different parts, as it were. So if I want Curtis to go back to being a mutant, I just got to find some cyborg or robot parts, install them, and he'll turn right back into his old self. So, yeah, it's not too bad. It's actually fairly simple to move around in the different monster and beast and cyborg and robot categories in this game. So if you don't get what you want, it's fairly easy to correct it. Now, later on in the game, there's going to be a very specific point where I want to transform into a very specific monster, and if I don't, it might make things a lot more challenging in the final boss fight. But we'll worry about that when we get there. That's like way later. That's like level 27, so I'm not worried about that for now. This is a Game Boy game, so this is kind of impressive for what it had access to. That's what I'm saying. All the times in these games, I'm so impressed by the way that they use the technology that they had. It's limited, but it makes use of what they have to create something very interesting, some mechanics that are very interesting. So I'm always impressed. I'm always impressed by it, I'll tell you what. We're poisoned. That's not really a huge deal. You just use ice on that guy. There we go. Yeah. Well, considering the fact that the technology didn't allow them to use, like, you know, high-fidelity graphics and voice acting and a whole lot of other stuff, they had to get creative with the gameplay and the music and all that other stuff and just the limitations of the system. So, yeah, so that they got creative with all of that stuff. Curtis, why don't you heal yourself? You're poisoned a little bit, so it might be better to top yourself off. There you go. Yeah, those side knives do pretty good for you. They're a little bit better in this game than they were in previous games, so. And Curtis is a Mad Boar now, which is a not good monster at all. As you can see, their stats are kind of garbage. They have really, really abysmally bad magic. I guess they have Breath, though, which is a paralysis move, so that's not terrible. It's just not good, so. But not to worry, once we go into this town, we'll figure out a way to fix it, besides just randomly waiting for robot parts to install, so. What's up? Wait, what did that say? Oh, okay, gotcha. Huh. Well, we'll have to keep an eye out for an Ifrim seed, then. Uh-oh, what disease? Should I have a mask here? Am I gonna get in trouble for saying that on my stream? I sure hope not. I don't think they, I think if you're trying to be safe, they don't, like, try to censor you unless, you know, somebody doesn't want you to try to be safe, in which case, what are you doing here? But anyway, here's the better armor that I was talking about, and it's the reason why I saved up all my money. So silver plates would be nice for everybody. And I might get them for everybody because I definitely have enough. 26, 39, 5,200. Bronze shields would be nice for everybody as well. That would be 2,800, so that would be, what would that be, 78, 86? So I won't have enough for all the silver helmets. I could buy the bronze shields and the silver plates. Okay, we'll do that. And then silver plate. and just have a little bit of money left over for ourselves. We'll sell off our old gear, and then it'll give us even more. So, so we have shields to equip and armor to equip. Yeah, really pushing it on the armor stat now, so that's pretty good. It'll definitely come in handy later for us. Now, as you can see, Curtis isn't getting as much of a benefit out of his defense. The way that beasts work is they don't get as much of a benefit out of gear as humans do, because humans, I believe, also gain a bonus in terms of their stats, and mutants, I think, as well, gain more stats out of their... Or maybe it's just that they have higher base stats. Maybe that's what it is, because Curtis doesn't have really high base stats at the moment. So maybe it's just because Sharon and Gloria and everybody else just has way more stuff than Curtis does on this crappy beast that he turned into. So, alright, let's sell off our old stuff. Where is it? Down here. Here we go. Alright, we got 2,200 to throw around, so that's a decent chunk. There's another weapon shop here somewhere, right here. And I don't think I want to get any weapons here for now. You can get a battle axe if you want for your human. These punch techniques are more of those jujitsu techniques like the ones that were in the first and second game. In this particular game, these are the things that you want to buy for beasts, because beasts and nobody else get a 2x damage multiplier out of the jujitsu techniques, out of the martial arts techniques, I should say. It's not necessarily jujitsu. Out of martial arts techniques, they get a 2x damage multiplier, similar to the one that humans get for all other weapons. So if you're going to have a beast at this point, probably your best bet for damage would be punch. It's not really all that good, though. To be honest, it's kind of worse off than pretty much anything you could have at this point. Battle axes would be better. The Sai knives would be better, so yeah, I wouldn't bother with it. This fire staff does not cast fire, by the way, as far as I know. I think it... Some of the staves in this game will cast elemental magic, but not all of them, and even if they're named something that would make it seem like, yeah, it would cast magic, or rather, it would cast status magic, or not status magic, damaging magic. Or status magic, for that matter. Sometimes it just doesn't, so it's really odd. Couldn't have voice acting, graduate to a GBA and play Shaman King Master Spirits 1 or 2. It's not full VA, but it's something. Well, that's fair, yeah. They did that sort of like some voice acting in the GBA era, where they, you know, could get a little bit of that stuff programmed into the game, but it sounded kind of like fuzzy because of the fact that the GBA didn't have the best sound system. Played all the games no one else ever cared about, makes it lonely thinking about it. Well, yeah, I understand that. There are a few games that I've played where it's like, what do you mean nobody's played them ever? Basically. I don't know, but that's what this is for, right? Like, I can stream them when I want to play them, and then I can show the world those games, you know what I mean? So, anyway, there's new attacking magic for us here, so I would probably like to grab a little of that. Arrow is nice, and Fire 1 is nice. Arrow's Tornado Elemental, and Fire's Fire Elemental, so both of those would be good for us. I'm going to get both, actually. And we don't have much money to throw around, but we'll get a little bit. I would like to get 2 battle axes, but we don't have the money for that just yet. So let's explore around first before we do that. And then we'll be able to get the money that we need, so... Well, you sure don't look it. You look like the water hag that just tried to kill me. Oh, Flushix, huh? I wonder where we can get some of that. But yeah, the Flushix actually will allow you to fix monster transformations that you do in the game. So let's say I don't want... And in this case, it's true. I don't want Curtis to be in the beast that he currently is. If we can get some Flushix, we can actually flush the beast's transformation out of his system and turn him back into a mutant, so... Oh, well that sucks. I guess water hags aren't beasts or monsters or anything. They're something entirely different. But anyway, as it turns out, Flushix is not an item, it's a unit for the Talon, so we can take it right back to the Talon and use it for ourselves. Awesome, thank you. I don't need any of that stuff. But that's why I came here mainly, because I knew that Curtis was eventually going to turn into a crappy beast, and so I wanted to get the Flushix, so we can go back to the Talon and we can fix him, so he'll just become back to his old mutant-y self. And in that vein, I might actually take some of Gloria's stuff off of her, the sleep spell specifically, and then we'll give Curtis sleep and arrow. There we go. Let him do that. We'll give Gloria fire, and we'll put this up here. How many units are in this era anyway? Oh, 1 more. Okay, cool. Well, we'll go find it. Must be a whole lot of them in the future, but then again, the future is more highly more high technology than the other ones. Can't talk today, I apologize. So, anyway. Need to grab this collection after you finish East 8 and grab or finish East 9. Your backlog will never end. Dangerous chemical reaction stuff, yeah. Yeah, we used the past unit that we got from Kronos in the present, and we traveled 15 years into the past using the Talon. I will actually go and show you, because the Talon is inside of this temple, and I need to go here anyway to install the Flush X so I can fix Curtis's crappy monster transformation, so... Epilepsy alert! We have an airship. It's just not airborne yet, that's all. Okay, so now the Flush X is attached to the Talon, so it's an option tool, basically. It's an option unit. And if you ever want to go back to the present, by the way, just use the same unit that you used to get to whatever time period you're in. So if you're in the past, you can use the past unit to go back to the present. If you're in the future, you can go back to the present by using the future unit. So in case you ever need to get there, that's how you can do that. But yeah, the Talon is a time-traveling spaceship. And the Flush X is over here. This is the bathroom, apparently. So what does the Flush X do? So like I said, monster and cyborg transformations in this game, monster and robot transformations, are on a sliding scale. When you use the Flush X, if you're on a human or a mutant, it won't do anything. They just use the bathroom. But if you switch party members to, let's say, Curtis, in this case, who is a beast, and you use the Flush X, it'll turn him one closer to the middle of the scale. So it'll push, every time you use the Flush X, it'll turn you one closer to the middle of the scale. So it'll move you back closer to being your default class. For Arthur and Sharon, it'll move them one closer to being a human. For Curtis and Gloria, it'll move them one closer to being a mutant. So, yeah, if you ever get something crappy out of a transformation, don't be afraid to just come back to the Talon and flush it right out of your system so you can, go back to being normal or default. And in the first half of the game, that's not a bad idea. Usually, like I said, beasts and cyborgs and robots don't really catch up to how good humans and mutants are for about the first half of the game. Once you get past that, it starts getting to be a different story, but we'll get there. Epilepsy alert. This game is so much more than you thought it would be. It's a trip, that's for sure. Yeah, Legend 2 and Legend 3 are really solid games, especially considering the fact that they're on the Game Boy, and you would think with the technical limitations, yeah, they can't be that good. Oh no. Oh no, they are so good. They're very good RPGs, so... Oh, actually, you know what? We haven't been back to Dharm yet. We should go see if the Elder's building it in this time period, since this is 15 years in the past, so... Let's go see if he's building it. Oh, there he is. Hey, you wouldn't know me yet, but you're the Elder of the place I come from eventually. Yes. And hopefully we'll be able to find them, so. Oh, really? Huh. So yeah, time travel in this game can be a little funky, because apparently, in order for our town to exist, we had to have traveled into the past and told the Elder, hey, you should build your town over by the Pantheon there. And he actually goes and builds Dharm. So the town, if we hadn't come here and talked to him, the town wouldn't exist. Now, that's not a gameplay mechanic, that doesn't actually happen in the present, but it's just, time travel's funky. And by the way, also, he mentioned previously, hey, there are other people looking for units that I met when I was building the town. He was talking about us. He wasn't talking about monsters. You could be a monster at this point if you did enough transformations. I usually don't get to that point myself, unless I'm really lucky. But he didn't recognize us, obviously, because he had never met us at this point, so... When he was referring to, hey, there's other people looking for the units of the Talon, he was actually talking about us. So, yeah, time travel's funky. Usually when you start introducing it, all kinds of crazy shit starts happening, and that's no exception there. Alright, so let's use our little floater. Now let's head on over to the cave, shall we? Actually, floater. After just using a Flush X, the word floater just sounds like I shouldn't be saying it. I need to stop saying floater now. Here's the ripe soil they were talking about. Well, maybe if we find a seed, we'll be able to plant it here. I'm going to save real quick before we head inside. I think I just saved, but, well... Yeah, we're good. Okay. Everybody's got everything they need. Let's head inside of the Southeast Cave. Yeah, these caves need to get a little bit more original with their names, I think. Music's pretty good, though. I'll take it. okay, this could be a bit of a problem. So, the monsters that we just encountered, of them, 2 of them are baby dragons. Now, you may recall baby dragons being the cute and cuddly little critters from Final Fantasy Legend 2 that you could start with. In this game, oh good lord, kill them and kill them now, because they can cast Quake. And Quake hurts a lot. So, you want to kill them. They have immunity to fire and sleep, by the way. So, you can't put them to sleep to incapacitate them. Just kill them. As quickly as you can, get rid of them. And I mean, they hurt a little bit doing their other stuff. It's not really a huge deal, but yeah. Actually, I should have gone back to, was that Mu? I think was the name. No, Mu is the town underwater. I forget what the name of that town was, where all the water hags were, where you got the flesh X. But yeah, I should have gone back there and gotten Arthur a battle axe. I might go do that now, actually, before we continue here. So, let's see. Why don't you use fire? I forget if these guys are weak to fire or ice, but well, we'll find out. Baby dragons. Didn't realize we're fighting Joey in some Yu-Gi-Oh game. Yeah. Well, they're weak to fire. Got it. I'll keep that in mind. I just hope he doesn't summon a time wizard on me, because that would be not what I want. Well, let's grab this treasure while we're here first before we get out of here. Another plume. Okay. Well, I already bought 4, but that's fine. Hey, that looks like Granny down there. Okay, well, before we go see her and we go get that other treasure chest, let's head back to... What is that town called? It's going to bug me, so I'm going to look it up real quick while the game plays itself after I get this strike first going. Those are not hooligans, by the way. Those are burglars, so they're the next level of hooligans. So, and then these are kelpies, so don't let it fool you. They're a little more dangerous. Let's see. Why don't you do that? These will-o-wisp thingies over here, or whatever they are, they're definitely weak to ice. So we'll just let the game play itself. Let me drink some water. Whispers, that's what they're called. And then I'm going to go look up the name of that town real quick. Apologies if I miss anything in the chat. I'll be back in 5 seconds. Just going to look up the name of that town, and then we'll be good. If the FAQs ever load. There we go. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't even list it on this. It doesn't even list it on there. What the hell? Past overworld. This should tell me. The town's name is Lay. Okay, got it. Well, I didn't know that. Nobody tells you that, and as far as I know, you basically never go back there after you're done there the first time. So, yeah, that ain't really gonna help us. That's fine. Okay, so let's beat these guys up a little bit, and then we'll head back to town. Yeah, as you can see, magic in the beginning of the game coming from your mutants does a lot of damage. Almost double the damage. As a matter of fact, a little more than double the damage that you can do with most of the physical attacks that you can do at this point. So, yeah, we're not going to eat anything for now. We'll, like I said, we'll worry about eating monster meat and mutant meat and everything, or not mutant meat, monster meat and beast meat and everything like that later in the game. So, I guess I'll just have you heal a little bit, and then I'll have Gloria heal a little bit. By having 2 people that can heal, you can kind of split the workload a little bit, so... Oh, okay, well, Sharon didn't need it, but I can give it to Curtis. There we go. Arthur, let's float back to Lay, and then I'll go get a battle axe for you. Who can use Screech? I think the Broomers can use Screech, so I'm going to tell them to heck right off. Actually, I'll just use Arrow. So yeah, early in the game might feel a little reminiscent of Final Fantasy Legend 2 because statuses are not as good in the early game as just flat out killing things with magic. So might feel a little familiar, but we'll get to the point where status magic starts becoming really good. And in this game, status magic is king by the end game, so it becomes incredibly useful by around the mid game. So I just got to remember that Broomers are strong against fire for next time. Okay. Well, that shouldn't be too hard to remember. Who do I attack here? Okay. No, that's fine. We'll just redirect our attacks if we kill the other stuff, so... That poison will be gone at the end of battle, so that's fine. I think if I remember, poison is just like it'll deal some damage at the end of the turn. It doesn't really do anything else in this one. Curse can... I think Curse halves your defense, if I remember right. Or maybe it's attack and defense. I forget. So it's nothing really big deal. Blind does what you think it does. It makes it harder for you to hit your physical attacks. I don't need Broomer Meat. And then, what's the other one that I don't care about? Mute. Mute prevents you from casting spells. So yeah, I mean, they could be annoying, but typically because they don't last through battle, they're not that annoying. So, yeah, you can't fly over mountains with your little floater here. I need to stop saying that word. Can't fly over mountains with your little floating island. There you go. That's a lot better. So we'll just have to go around them. So cast ice on that guy because he's strong against the fire that we have. Yeah, most plants in this game, unlike in the second game where most of the flower enemies that you would encounter were actually weak to ice, fire actually does have a decent use here in terms of killing plant monsters like those. What's it called? Those mushrooms, those fungi, were weak to fire, if I recall correctly. So, and actually, we might have a decent chunk of money now, so we might be able to buy those silver helmets that I was missing before. Yeah, actually, we will. Cool. So let's go do that. We'll need 4,400 for these. I think you were supposed to buy these like after you get done in the cave, although you could just come here like after talking to Granny and then you might have enough money by the time you get there, but yeah. I don't know the exact point when you're supposed to be buying this stuff, but it's, you know, it's no big deal. I'm only going to buy one battle axe though. We have enough for two, but we're going to get a weapon inside of the cave, the southeast cave there, that will actually be better for us than that. We still need to get gloves for everybody, don't we? Do you sell gloves here? No, you don't, because you're the weapon shop owner. Never mind. I'll go talk to the armor shop owner, who's already a water hag. Okay, so you don't sell gloves either. That's fine. We don't particularly need gloves all that badly. We'll make do without them for now. We'll get better ones once we're done in the cave, so. And I think that's that. I just need to sell... Oh yeah, I need to equip those silver helmets and then sell the, what's it called? Sell off the excess stuff that I had equipped before. And, you know, the plume that I also had equipped, or didn't have equipped. Already have for all of my characters. So let's do a little selling. You can have that. Thank you. You can have that. Thank you. And you can have all these. There we go. Although I guess we could go get bronze gloves from the... Ilan there, but... it's alright. We'll be fine. Arthur, let's go back. I think I could have gone around the other way, too, to get out of here, but that's okay. We'll be fine. Okay, let's just take care of these guys. We'll do the same thing we did before. We'll have the Broomers get hit with the magic so that they die faster, ideally. And then we'll just double up on the mushrooms, on the fungi. But yeah, as you can see, having those Psychic Knives equipped makes Gloria and Curtis super fast, which really helps them to get ahead of enemies and take out the ones that are the most threatening with their attack magic, so. You're getting pretty good with that battle axe, though, Arthur. I mean, I know we just got it, but doing pretty good with it. Good damage. About as good as Myron was doing. Maybe a little bit more, even. But you'll get to a point where you can do even more than that. Let's see, how are we doing on levels? 166, 212, 212, 180. Okay, so Arthur and Sharon will be ahead of Curtis and Gloria for a little while, but that's okay. Not really a big deal. Oh, well, okay, I guess I'm just getting into a battle directly on top of the... on top of the cave, that's fine. Ice for you, and then double up. Cool. Gotcha. Now for you. And I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just go get Psi Knives for both Arthur and Sharon as well. They still get double damage out of them, because they're considered weapons, so of course they do. So they do pretty good with them, and they give them +5 agility, so if you wanted to, you could. I'm just going to use other stuff, it's fine. Might as well vary up my items a little bit, you know? See, now you know what's going to happen, right? Is I'm going to get all of this... Oh, I got to get off the... Yeah, I got to get off the island first. No, what's going to happen is I'm going to get all this transformation meat and all these parts before I actually need it, and then when I want to get it, I'm not going to get a lot of it, so... Because, of course, that's what always happens. Is it better to use sleep on this guy? I'm going to do it anyway, just because. We'll get rid of those guys, and then just double up on this guy. Yeah, sleep is actually a pretty solid status ailment for the game. H.C. Bailey, when he does his playthroughs, he often refers to the 3 best statuses in the game as the big 3. And I guess I could take a page out of his book. I already do that enough as it is, but I could take a page out of his book and say, yeah, the big 3 in this game, sleep is one of them. Like I said, it just incapacitates enemies. They have a tendency to sleep for a decent amount of time. And, yeah, it just... Anything that allows you to prevent an enemy from getting a turn in this game is fairly nice. It's not as good as the other 2, I find, although actually, that's not true. It's just as good as one of the other 2 of the big 3, but the third one is so absurdly powerful, you would think we were playing Final Fantasy Legend 1 again. So if you remember the Final Fantasy Legend 1 playthrough, you may know which of the 8 statuses I'm talking about there. If you don't worry about it. We'll get back to that shortly enough. Well, not shortly, but in about, 10 levels or so. Hi, Granny. I'm going to jump over your head real quick to grab a treasure, and then I'll talk to you. 1 Kelpie, that's all you have for me? If you want to conserve MP, by the way, the Psychic Knives, as you have seen, do fairly decent amounts of damage for our mutants as it is, so just, they're doing about as much as Sharon's doing with that longsword, so. Oh, and look at a bronze shield. Nice, I'll be able to sell that. Yeah, they do good damage, so if you want to conserve MP, just shank them with a knife. Works almost just as well, unless you're in a situation where you really need to kill the enemies with magic, like those Broomers. But I don't think there's anything down here, right? No. No, there is not. Oh, good. I can move with the right stick on my right controller there. Because I was scratching my head with my left hand, so I could not do that before. There's some iron nunchaku. We're going to give Sharon those. That'll be a little bit of an upgrade for her. I think it's about as good as the battle axe, if I recall correctly. I don't know the exact values on weapons in this game, because pretty much you equip them. You don't see an attack boost like you do a defense boost with armor. So I pretty much just equip them as I get them. So. Granny, are you all right? Well, you wouldn't know us, but we know you, so you look not a day older than the last time I met you. Yeah, Dogra's in this cave, and apparently Lara is going down into the cave to do something, and Granny came to rescue her, but yeah, we need your help later in the future. So, yeah, we're a bit bizarre, but yeah, we did in fact come from the future, so we need you to live so you can help us out later. Yep. Implicitly. Of course you do, because no one could make up a story as outlandish as yours. Okay, so now we can go through the further parts of the cave here. And let's just see what we can find. We'll just explore around. The cave isn't that large, so you shouldn't really... I don't think there's too many opportunities to get lost in here, so... just take the stairs as we find them. Maybe we'll find some treasure while we're at it. More than just the iron nunchaku, that is. So, uh-oh, baby dragon. Gotta beat it up quickly or else we're gonna have some problems here. Arrow. Yeah, I should probably use fire over there. And then just whack him with the nunchucks if he lives. Which he will not. Okay, cool. Gotcha. They did a little bit of upgrading on the weapon and... or rather the attacking sprites in this game too. Not only do they give some of the magic a bit of a facelift, they also gave the weapons a bit of a facelift too. You can actually see them and stuff, so that's pretty cool. We don't need landworm meat either, so. The other monster transformation that I want to get, by the way, I can get starting at level 11. It's between levels 11 and 12. So I might go for it then, but I also might not. I'm not 100% sure about that yet. Love how at the beginning of the game, this game loves making sure you have numbers out the wazoo. Yeah, well, it's an older Game Boy game, so like, it's not particularly long. It's probably shorter than the original Final Fantasy was, and if you've played the, well, I played the GBA version, the PSP version, the original Final Fantasy. I can't speak for the padding of the original NES version, because there was probably padding in the original NES version, but, like, you know, you had to grind and stuff like that. But I think when I did the playthrough for Final Fantasy 1, it only took me, without the extra content I did, it would have only took me, like, 15 hours to beat. So this game's probably fairly similar. It's probably about 15 hours to beat, so. Are you weak to Tornado? Probably not. Your class of monster usually isn't weak to much of anything, so. I guess we'll do that, and then that. We'll leave the gargoyle, whatever it is, alive for now, I guess. And that headless guy on the end there, not really all that threatening. They get threatening later. They get a lot of really powerful status magic later in the game, but yeah. Took you almost 40 hours to beat FF1 from the GBA port. That game does not feel short at all. Maybe I just used the right... because, I mean, there's a lot of different customization options in the first game, but... I don't know. I've played it through so many times at this point that I can kind of just fly through it, you know what I mean? I don't know. Ow. Stop it. Beat him up, Sharon. There you go. And missed that fairy last time with the battle axe. We got you now. There we go. Cool. I don't know the layout of this cave very well. This is probably the game where I have the least amount of knowledge about the maps and everything, so... yeah, that'll be interesting to deal with here. It's okay, though. Most of these places are small enough to where you probably won't get lost anywhere, so... oh, there's treasure here. Awesome. Cure 2 potion, that's good. That'll come in handy for us. Almost going to do that night-only playthrough again, but healing. Yeah, healing in that playthrough was probably not a whole lot of fun. And the thing about Knight is that it's the most expensive class to keep in your party in Final Fantasy 1. Because all of the stuff that you need to get for it to be fully kitted out for everything is very expensive. So, yeah. No, it wasn't. I don't know. I always found Knight to be super expensive just because of all the gear you had to buy for it. Because it can't really do a whole lot if you don't have gear for it, so... oh, you were talking about how the healing part. Okay, I see. I misunderstood. Main heals were high potions, yeah. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. I'm going to leave the fairy things alive. What are they called? Hang on. Yeah, fairies. I'm going to leave them alive. Because I don't think they're terribly threatening at the moment, so... I guess I could toast one of them, because probably between Sharon and Arthur together, they'll probably be able to kill the gargoyle. I hope. We'll see. Usually gargoyles have, like, a bunch of resistances, though, so, like, it's better to just hit them with weapons. They never have... as far as I know, they never have resistance to weapons in this game. Oh, actually, that's something I should talk about. They changed circle damage and circle change in this game. In this game, circle change does not give you resistances to statuses. It is the same as circle damage from the original 2 games. So it gives you, if you have circle change in this game, you have immunity to, or rather not immunity, but resistance to the 4 main attacking elements in the game. So that would be what circle change is. Circle damage in this game is the same as circle weapon from the original 2 games. It halves the damage that weapons do, so. Where am I going? So we needed to go back to where that girl was that we saw on the map. Oh, okay, now I know where I am. But I just wanted to connect the dots before I did that, see if there was any other treasure to find in here. Not really consulting any maps, and I haven't played this game as recently as I played Legend 2, so it might be a little... We might be wandering a little more in this playthrough, but I'm okay with that. It's not like I'm in a hurry, you know. How do I get in that inner circle there? Oh, wait, I know where that is. That's, you have to go past that girl first that's on this floor here. And then you end up back in there. I thought there was just going to be a treasure in there. I was wrong. Why don't you hit the little wisp guy? Actually, I think I want to get rid of the burglars instead of the wisp guys. They can do, like, fire, but... that's not that threatening, I guess. Maybe they can do fire. Actually, I don't even know if they can do fire, to be honest with you. They might be a low enough level where they don't know Fire 1. I forget. Beh. Sharon's getting pretty good with those nunchucks, too. Of course, I mean, she's human, and in this game, you put a weapon in a human's hands, and they can pretty much get good with it almost immediately because they have proficiency with weapons, so, yeah. Normally, by the way, when I create my party later on in the game, I usually structure it where... Ooh, what kind of parts are these? Oh, burglar. Okay, that's fine. Usually I structure my party later in the game where I will have 2 beasts, a cyborg, and a robot. But for this playthrough, I might actually do something different. I might keep one of the people as either a human or a mutant, depending on what I decide. I'm not 100% sure about that yet, but we'll see. We'll see what I end up being. The who's going to be what in this game is fairly fluid. I don't really have a plan for, like, a very specific things that I want to transform people into, because monster transformation drops in this game are a little bit lessened from what they were in the other 2 Final Fantasy Legend games. You get less monster meat and parts overall than you do in the other 2 games. So it's hard to plan for it, and you kind of just got to be like, okay, well, I know what turns into what, so let's just make these people into this, you know? So, all right, before we talk to her, we should probably save real quick, especially if I'm going to get into a fight right here. Oh, these guys might be tough. Familiar and a witch and Cosmos. So the Cosmos on the right there are still weak to ice, so we'll get rid of them. Familiars I don't think actually do a ton at the moment, but, well, we'll find out in a second, won't we? Let's get rid of you, and then you help with the familiar. So there'll be 1 Cosmos left and 1 familiar if this all goes well. Yep. I think familiars are pretty decent casters, though. Like, if you're not going to have a mutant in your party in the early game, you can have a familiar or any of the members of its family, and it's a pretty good caster, so... But, yeah, we won't worry about that, because for the early game, we'll have mutants, and for the later game, well, we might actually... Will we have a familiar? Maybe. It depends on what I end up having as a beast later on, so... We'll see. Why don't you do that, just help out. And then we'll go like that. There we go. I'll be honest, though, I probably find Final Fantasy Legend 3 to be the easiest of the 3 games. It isn't really as involved, I find, as the other 2 games are. It's more of a traditional RPG than the other 2 are. There's less, like, there's no durability to worry about. There's not a whole lot of that other stuff that you normally would have to worry about in the other games. So it's a little bit more traditional. I don't find that to be a bad thing, though. It's kind of... I don't want to say it's refreshing, because that makes it sound like Legend 1 and 2 were not something I wanted to play. I really, like I said at the end of Legend 2, I really enjoyed it. Legend 1 was a little rough around the edges, but, I mean, it was still okay. But, yeah, I really enjoyed the time I had with Legend 2, but it's interesting to go to another game in the series and play something that feels more traditional, you know what I mean? It's more... It's like I said, it's a little refreshing to do that after playing 2 games where you have to worry about durability and worry about monster transformations and do all that stuff. It's nice to come back to something that's fairly simple, although it will get more complicated once we start doing monster transformations later, but we'll do that later. Anyway, are you Lara? Yes, but also angry. Yeah, we would like to, but is she having a stroke? Sounds like she's gritting her teeth and, well, maybe not a stroke, but She's angry about something, this little girl. Uh-oh, she's attacking us unexpectedly. Yeah, I'd like to, but, well, she's got access to the fire spells. She must be, well, if she's, you know, with Granny, Granny probably taught her a few spells, so. All right, Curtis, why don't you heal whoever gets hit with the elemental attacks? I forget if I think she has immunity to, or not immunity, but resistance to your elemental spells, though, so we'll probably just attack her. We'll just beat up a little girl. That's just great. Thanks, game. That's just what I wanted in my RPG. I'm here to beat up monsters and robots that are trying to kill me. I ain't here to smack a little girl in the face with a battle axe, although maybe if we're just trying to knock her out or wake her up, we're probably just hitting her with the broadside of our weapons, you know what I mean? So, is there a broadside of a psychic knife, though? That's the question. Especially when it looks like it's tearing a hole in the air every time I use it. Like, I don't know about that. And to be fair, you can hit them with the blunt side of the nunchucks, and it won't matter. It still friggin' hurts. Okay, well, we got some EXP out of it, but, yeah, you were walking in your sleep, and then some. Yeah, we'll just chalk it up to a bad dream. It's fine. And Lara has joined as our 5th party member. Nice. I forget if she's just human or if she's a mutant or what. She's a mutant. Okay, so that's actually helpful to us because if I recall correctly, she still has the spells and then some that she had before. She can actually cure blind. She can cure poison. She has Cure 1, which is nice. She has 250 MP, so make use of it. And she also comes with Lightning 1, which is the other elemental spell that we want for her, so. Or rather, we would like it for ourselves, but we can't access it just yet. But, well, Lara has it, so that'll help us. Unfortunately, she does not have a gun. If she did, this would probably have already been over. But, yeah, we don't have that luxury yet, unfortunately. Let's see. Why don't you do this, that one, and hey, we can actually kill all of these enemies if everybody hits everything this time. Let's use Lightning 1, shall we? Zap! Gotcha. Not bad. About as powerful as our other stuff. So, but it's Lightning Elemental, so that'll help us out a little bit. Well, it's Tornado Elemental, so it would basically do the same thing as Arrow's doing for us. It's just black magic instead of white magic. That's all. So I guess if you're having like a dedicated black mage, a dedicated white mage, or whatever, you could, you know, do it that way. But I don't know. I usually prefer to do it the way that I'm doing it, where I kind of like split the spells a little bit. So like I'll give Curtis... Actually, I should probably give Curtis either fire or ice so that he has access to that, and then he'll have access to Arrow for Tornado, and then I'll give Gloria Lightning so she has access to Tornado Elemental, and then they have access to one of the other elements each, so. That's a good idea. I should do that. I hope I remember to do that. How are we doing on levels here? Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Almost level 9 for everybody, so that's not bad. The game is not 1/3 over, though. It once you start ramping up on levels a little bit, it gets a little bit more. It gets a little harder to get your levels. So, but we'll worry about that when we get there. For now, let's just keep doing what we were doing. Torch one of the fairies, and then zap. Bzzz. I should make the full reference if I'm gonna say bzzz. And can you hear that incessant bzzz coming from the fluorescent lights above your heads? That's the adult cranial jellifier, slowly turning your brains into milkshakes. And he wasn't wrong either, because when they all left the classroom, that teacher picked up the phone, called the principal, and was like, "They know." I fucking love Codename Kids Next Door. It's such a great cartoon, man. Also, very angry snake thing? Look at him gritting his teeth, sliding them back and forth. That cannot be good for your dental plan, man. I hope you have good insurance. Well, let's find out just how good it is, because we're gonna fight him. Let me guess. This is Dogra. No, I think you have me mistaken for someone else, actually. And I'm going to punish you for it. So, Final Fantasy Legend 3 takes a bit of a different spin on its monster design for its boss monsters, whereas Legend 2 was more in the traditional / high technology era. Basically, every boss we fight in Legend 3 is going to look like some sort of Cthulhu demon that came from the spawns of hell. Dogra is no exception, because he has an eyeball inside of his mouth and coral growing out of his back, and also a black hole that he's coming out of. If you think this is ridiculous, this is tame. It gets much worse later. Final Fantasy Legend 3 can be colloquially called Call of Cthulhu Densetsu, if you want to be particular about it. I actually have never played Call of Cthulhu, so I don't even know if that's true or not, but... do I want to use Shell? Nah, not really. I'd rather just blast him with lightning. Zap him. There we go. He did in fact pick up an Apple phone. Yes, that's right. It was like a phone that looked like an apple. Yeah. I remember that now. I didn't know the exact details. I did know the voice acting, but I didn't know the exact details, so... Ow! Jesus Christ, man! Slow down! Who do I want to use the item? Probably just Curtis. He's kind of like my dedicated healer, so... But yeah, wind up hurts! that do big damage. How's my MP anyway? Okay, Curtis's MP is going a little low, so probably it's not a bad idea to have him heal anyway. So... We'll let Lara pick up the attack magic slack with Gloria, so... Yeah, see, heals a flat 100 HP, so that's not bad. Should keep him alive through the next wind-up, I think. Okay, well, if he hits Arthur, that also keeps him alive through the next wind-up. Excuse me. Don't be afraid to use these items, by the way. They're here for a reason, and we can buy plenty more, so just use them, because Cure 1, not really going to help us when it's dealing that much damage. We probably heal for like 70 or 80 HP with Cure 1. But, I mean, I guess that's better than nothing, but eventually we may have to do that. Boss fights in Legend 3 last a little while, because they actually got a little bit smarter in this one after Isis destroyed everything at the end of Legend 2 and said, you know what we should do with our bosses? We should give them buttloads of HP. Ow. Well, that didn't work for me. Okay, let's just work without Curtis for now. Does anybody need healing? I guess I got Gloria do it. I'll heal Arthur, that's fine. I would have preferred if he didn't, like, you know, specifically target Curtis, because Curtis is going to have the lowest EXP now, but, well, I mean, what can you do, right? It'll happen. Yeah, see, I'm only cured. Well, actually, that was just because I topped him off. It would have healed for a little more if he was not topped off, so... Oh, good! Death Beam, thank you. That actually was slightly less damage than than you would have done otherwise with Wind Up, so that's good. Sharon, why don't you heal yourself there? We'll keep Lara doing the attack magic. She's pretty good with it. Would have been nice if we had hit that ice, but because then we could have said fire and ice, because neither ain't so nice. Ow! He doesn't like my jokes. I should have used, you know what I should have done with Shell? Is I should have used Shell on Gloria and Curtis so that they would live through these turns. But, I mean, it's not a big deal. We'll get him. This is really the problem that you run into with mutants later in the game, though, is that they just don't have enough HP in a lot of cases to survive all these crazy hits. So. Ow! Okay, I guess Lara's not going to be helping us anymore, is she? I don't have enough MP for that either. Alright, well, I'll just attack then. We'll get him, I think. He's got like, I think he's got like 3,000 HP or something like that, so he's not a pushover. Oh, good, that's just what I needed. It's my defense down by 5. Well, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Especially if I keep missing. Stop it. I keep waiting for it to say Dogra fell, but of course, you know, it did not. I'll just attack. I know we might die, but I mean, I already have a dead party member, so if we lose, we lose. We'll just do it again. No big deal. There we go. Got him. How much EXP is Curtis gonna be missing? Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Do I want to reset and get him the EXP? kind of do. Do I have any kind of revival item or spell? Not at the moment, no. Cure 1 will not do that for us. So, actually, I forgot. I don't think you can reset in this game by just pressing the face buttons. So, yeah, Cure 1 will not revive us. We will get access to some restorative stuff later in terms of reviving people, but that's not for a little while yet, so. Well, I guess I'm going to use my last 2 Cure 2 potions, huh? It's a good thing I bought 6. Okay, that's that. We'll leave that spot there for when I get more, and Arthur's also dying, so that's just great. We'll use up some of our MP that we have left. There we go. Is that better? Yeah, that'll work. Guessing you missed the boss fight. Yes, yeah. What gave it away? The fact that 3 people were almost dead. Well, 2 people were dead and 1 was halfway in the grave. Yeah, that might have done it. But anyway, for defeating Dogro, we received the Rover unit. Awesome. Now we got to walk out of the cave. So that's gonna be fun. Oh, good. And these are actually some new enemies, which is kind of interesting. We're meeting up with now those mice robots on the left side are robots, but we're meeting up with some new enemies. We just had Toth in our party, and we have an air maid, which is another type of robot. Of the robot families, usually the ones that are in the air maid line are the best of the best. You can't usually do much better than those, so we'll try to get one of those for ourselves later. Beasts will pretty much, like I said, either try to keep it in earth or air elemental, which isn't hard because when you level up as a beast as an earth or an air, you transform into either an air or an earth, respectively. So it's pretty easy to keep them there. As for cyborgs, I'm not real sure about which one we're going to get just yet, but I'll figure it out by the time we get through here. Do I want to run from this battle? Kind of. Just because we're missing a lot of MP, so it might be a little hard to defeat the enemies there. But, I mean, it gives us access to the monsters that, yeah, a couple people did in fact die. Yeah, okay, fine. If they want to run after me, I guess there's nothing I can do except for beat them up, huh? Do you have enough to cast arrow? No. It must cost like 12 or something. Let's see. Because all these guys can be pretty dangerous in this battle, so gotta be a little careful. Why don't you do that, and then you do that. Let's see how that works. Ooh, that'll work nicely. Oh, Cole's coming down here and Cyan again. Oh boy. Oh, okay. Can you put the pillow back on my bed, please? What are you screaming about?
I found all the difficulty.
Oh, good. Good. What was the difficulty?
I have one thing to say. I had quad resistance. 7,451 damage.
Ow.
Jimmy, so, the complete edition comes with all the DLC. You see, there's these DLC quests where you gotta hunt down these, mega-level Digimon that represent the 7 deadly sins. I'm through 3 already.
Uh-huh.
One of them buffed his attack ad infinitum and then punched your entire party. He killed every single vaccine. He is a dark virus type.
See, I don't remember those quests, but that's probably because I didn't do them.
They're DLC.
Uh-huh.
And we didn't buy any DLC.
Yeah.
TLDR, I'm suffering. Please kill me. Upside, everything's gonna be 99 by the time I kill the final boss, so, hooray!
Well, that's good, I think.
Somebody kill me.
Yeah, ripping dead Cole. Oh boy.
Not yet, that's why I get the last one.
Oh boy.
Ah!
He's having fun. The rover unit, I didn't really get to say what the rover unit does. It doesn't really do a whole lot for us at the moment, because, well, it's we can't take the Talon outside of the temple just yet. But once we can get it out of the temple, I think if I remember right, it's an engine unit, so like we can use it to. I should go this way because this way leads me all the way back down and around. Yeah, once we get it out of the temple, we can actually use it to like move around with the Talon. So it's like our first engine, if I recall correctly. Not 100% sure about that, but I think that's how it works. Also, I'm gonna have to start conserving a little bit of MP here because, as you can see, Lara's running out too, so that's fun. Well, that's okay. Not a big deal. It's a little bit interesting in the beginning of the game when you don't have access to a whole lot of talents and you gotta conserve MP sometimes. But we'll make it work. And I mean, the enemies aren't that bad at the moment. I mean, it's like, you know, level 5, 6 enemies, so that's not too bad. We can deal. Let's just hope I make it, though, because once I run out of MP, I don't exactly have any way of healing myself. I just realized that, and that's a bit of a scary thought, but we'll see what we can do. Oh, strike first, that's nice. Let's see. Take out the Broomers. And then I'm going to actually have you conserve your MP, just in case I need to heal. Because healing takes, I think, 8 MP to use a Cure 1 spell. So, yeah, probably better to conserve it. Okay, that takes care of those. We'll just take care of the Cosmos now. Do I get to meet Neil deGrasse Tyson when I do that? Probably not. And then we'll head back to Elan after I heal. I probably should go to. I should probably go to Lay before I go to Elan so I can heal. Although I guess they're about the same distance after you factor in the fact I have to go around those mountains to get to Lay. And again, I have to go around mountains to get to Elan too. I don't know. I'll go to one of them when we get out of this cave. Now get me out of this mayonnaise jar! I'm just making all the old Cartoon Network references today, aren't I? But yeah, that's the idea. We'll get out of the cave, we'll go see Granny, and let her know that Lara's okay, and we killed Dogra, and then we'll see what we can do from there. Probably call it a day after we talk to Granny, so. But first, let's get out of here, right? That's probably a good idea. Let's just all attack the one, whatever. Probably take him out with just the Psychic Knife. Oh no, never mind. Didn't do enough with the Gold Staff, so. And I can't give Lara my Psychic Knife either. So when you have a 5th party member and they have equipment in a certain slot, you can't equip them with a new piece of equipment in that slot. They keep that through the whole game. It's kind of annoying in some cases, particularly when you have somebody who you could definitely give a much better accessory, but he has one already equipped, and it's very useless for him. That'll happen later in the game, so that'll be fun. Welcome back, Adam. We just finished up the Southeast Cave in the past. We traveled to the past to try to help save the future, and we just finished things up here. So now we're gonna head back to town and see what we can find there. And Curtis is kind of in a bad spot because he died during the boss fight and missed out on like 350 experience. So, but that's okay. So if someone wants to go watch some old Cartoon Network after the stream, probably. I should probably see if we have Boomerang on any of our channels or something like that. My brother's, well, not Cole, but Steve. Steve buys enough. He has like Hulu and Disney Plus, a whole bunch of other stuff. So if he has enough of those, he might actually have access to to Cartoon Network or something. So I'll have to see when we're done with the stream of what he has access to. Okay, no more conservation. We're out of the cave. We'll be fine. Sounds like some Steins Gate shenanigans. See, I've never seen Steins Gate or played any of the games, so I can't really tell you one way or the other. But there's time travel involved, so if there's time travel involved in Steins Gate, then yes, definitely some Steins Gate shenanigans, yeah. So, alright, back to town, heal up. I'm gonna go to Elan, actually, because we can buy gloves there. Although, by now, are the gloves really worth it? Probably not. Well, we made it. That's good. Victory jump. And I need to find the inn. That's on the other side of town. Where the hell am I going? Over here. That's where I need to go. There we are. And the inn can't be convenient like the other ones. I gotta walk all the way up over here. Oh, I'm just bullshitting. It's fine. It's no big deal. So Granny's actually going to be in her house, where Kronos is in the present, and was here in the past as well. So She'll be over here, so let's go over here and find her. What do you mean, Mono? You should watch it. Shit's wild. Yeah, I don't know. I probably should. I haven't really watched a whole lot of anime, honestly, in like... probably been about 10 years since I really watched a decent chunk of anime. The last major one that I remember watching was Gurren Lagann. So, I haven't really watched anything since. Maybe Gurren Lagann spoiled me. I don't know. Yes, Ivysaur, you can jump over people in this. It's rather convenient. It helps you get into doors and get around people that are standing in your way. It's pretty nice. It's quite nice. I like it. Alright, Granny. We've rescued Lara from the cave, and we've also killed Dogra, so that should help us out a little bit. Maybe we'll change the future. Oh, okay, so apparently we need Lara to be here in the present. See, this is one of the things about Legend 3's story that I don't particularly like. I'm going to stop this here for a second so I can talk about it, so before they get off on a tangent here. This is one of the things about Legend 3 story that I don't particularly like. In the early game, they have a plan as to how they want everybody to get to the future properly, and the plan involves them taking Lara, who probably died, Dogra probably killed her normally in the past, rescuing her and taking her to the present so that she could help the Elder keep the people of Darm safe so that they could live into the future and then turn into the heroes that they needed to be for the future to not be completely destroyed like it is in Borgen's time period. They don't ever tell you this, though. That's the problem, is that you have to imply this from the way that the story works. But the Elder told Arthur and Gloria and Curtis and Sharon all of this before they left, probably before the game started. Why they thought they would skip out on those details, I don't know, but it would have been nice to know, so I wouldn't have been royally confused at this when I first played it the first few times. But no big Mono. Yeah, Gurren Lagann is pretty amazing. I quite enjoyed the time that I spent watching it. It was pretty great. But I don't know. I mean, if that's the worst that Legend 3 does, is it skips out on a few story details, I'm okay with it. It's really not that big of a deal. And we received more field magic from Granny. The dive spell. Awesome. And similar to how we can use float on any landmass when we are facing the water, similar to Pokemon, like when you're using Surf, you face the water, you use dive, and you end up in the water. Then once you're in the water, you can press, I think it's the B button, and that'll take you in underwater to all the different places down there. So we're going to give that to Arthur. We'll let him use that for now. And let's go get rid of this longsword and bronze shield, buy a few more Cure 2 potions, and then, excuse me, we'll head out to the ocean, but we'll call it a day, I think. See, normally I'd be annoyed when people walk in front of me like that, but not in this game. Don't have to worry about that at all. You know what we'll do is we'll go put the rover in the Talon as well before we call it a day. Because our next trip is back to the present, but while we're here in the past and while we have Lara in our party, it's probably best to use the dive magic that we have to go see if we can find some of those sunken ships that they were talking about, because, I mean, if there's any treasure on them, it's not doing any good sitting down at the bottom of the ocean, you know? Also, we have buttloads of money now, so I'm going to buy some soft potions. I think I bought 5. I might have bought 6, but that's okay. We might end up using them. Stick them there. There you go. Yeah, we have buttloads of money now, but we'll use some of it, so don't worry about that. It's just we don't need to use it just yet. So. But for now, let's float on over to the temple again. We'll put the rover away, and then we'll come back, and we'll head for the water. Now we're jumping over someone who would have been helpful before when you were stuck behind an NPC in one of the towns in Legend 2. Yeah, for sure. That's why it's nice in this game. Like, again, it doesn't even annoy me in this game. It's just like, okay, I can just get right around them. No big deal at all. Jumping over people will save so much time in any 2D Legend of Zelda game. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I can think of a couple of situations, and I don't know if you could jump over people in Link's Awakening. Probably not. That's my only experience. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. I played a little bit of Link to the Past, and I played about half of Link's Awakening. I've never actually beaten a Zelda game, so that's on my bucket list of things to do. So at some point we're gonna go back and we're gonna do that. We're gonna go beat. I don't know if it's gonna be Breath of the Wild first that we're gonna beat, but we'll see. Some finish Gurren class and stuff stop you from finishing it. Yeah, you gotta treat yourself. Once you get that time, It's a good. It's pretty good. I can tell you it's pretty good. You should finish it. So. Had to set aside some time for it, just not soon, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, yeah. What, Adam? What are you gasping at? Did I take your breath away? Okay, let's go put the unit in the talent. I know what you're gasping at, actually. I was just thinking about it. Epilepsy alert. Yeah, it's the me never finishing a Zelda game. I'm working on it. I'm getting around to Breath of the Wild. It's just I have plans for a couple of things after this. That's not true. I don't have any plans at all after this. I have no idea what I'm playing after Legend 3's over. Maybe it'll be a Zelda game. I don't know. Yeah, so here's our first engine. We got the rover, so let's set it up so it's in good shape. So, have I not beaten one? I don't know. I just, we had the consoles. It's not like we didn't have Nintendo consoles when I was growing up. I just never got one, I guess. I don't know. Epilepsy alert. I was more into other games. I wasn't really into RPGs as much as a kid. I've sort of grown into them as a teenager and then as an adult. I was more into well, actually that's not really true because Pokemon's an RPG. I was into very simple RPGs as a kid. And Zelda, I think I thought it was an RPG when I was looking at it. I never watched anybody play it. So I just looked at it and I said, oh, this is probably an RPG. It's probably complicated. I don't want to play it. Obviously, things have changed now because I like games being complicated, but yeah, not really my cup of tea when I was a kid. So, but yeah, anyway, we've got the dive spell from Granny, so now we can go find some sunken treasure under the water, and hopefully we'll find a little bit so we can take it and add to our collection of Monet. And then we can take Lara back to the present so she can help the Elder out and we can go find more Talon units. But we're going to do that on the next episode of Final Fantasy Legend 3, the Stream Edition. Finishing out the trilogy, starting strong. People are dying, but, you know, that's going to happen. We're not grinding, so it'll happen. People will be a little bit behind on the experience, but that's not a big deal. This game isn't hard enough to where that actually will probably matter at all. And honestly, Curtis being a little bit behind might come in handy later. Why will it come in handy? Well, we'll find out probably in about 5-ish episodes, maybe. But for now, we won't worry about that. We'll just worry about our scuba expedition, which will happen on the next episode. Thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream. I will be posting the schedule for next week, tomorrow, probably about 7 or 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, somewhere in there. Not sure what day I'm going to be streaming next week, but it shouldn't be very long before I will see you on the next one. So until then, everybody, take care and have a good one. You eventually beat Link to the Past, but sure haven't beaten much else. Phantom Hourglass, swoon and risk falling, conquer catch me lest I hit the ground. Okay, well, Adam, I hope you did not hit the ground. Next time, remind me so I don't get on one of my tangents, and I'll try to catch you, okay? We'll agree to that one. All right, there we go.